just took a while.
Gibson County Sheriff Bruce Vanhoven says the good thing for the man is that he was alive, but the bad news is he was under the influence of alcohol, so he was arrested. John Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
The Indiana Pacers look to continue their winning ways. They're in Miami tonight for the first of a very short road trip with the Heat. The tip-off is at 8 o'clock. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go and at WIBC.com. Traffic, here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Ryan, looking at eastbound 465, a little bit slow. Allisonville Road 269, hit a crash, Mithofer 38th. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Now here's your weather from the American Standard Heating Weather Center. A wind advisory goes into effect today at 10. Right now it's 37, a clear radar going up to 64. But after the winds die down tonight, the temperatures will drop down into the 30s and a dry weekend on tap. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go and at WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday, February 28th. It is 6 minutes after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Okay, we got to get to all the Epstein stuff, but can we just have a real quick discussion about the equipment in here?
Yeah.
Because some people, if you're watching on the YouTube today, again, we were back to the single camera shot. It's Casey. I said, get the camera off me, put it on Casey. Everyone would see Casey anyway. You can hear me, which is all I'm really needed for. Here's the thing, though. So something has happened again to the cable on one of these cameras, and our engineer, Phelan, we love Phelan. He's a super nice guy. He's like, I have to order a cable to fix this camera. It'll be a couple days. Mm-hmm. And Kev and I were shooting the breeze before the show started. And I said, at this point, this feels like the 5th or 6th time because people screw with the stuff that the camera now has not worked because they've had to order some sort of cable. And my point is, wouldn't it just be cheaper
to order a new camera?
To get better cameras?
I don't know.
They probably have these things that are Wi-Fi based now or whatever. You don't even need cables anymore. It feels as though we own an 85 Toyota Corolla, and we keep buying new parts to keep the car running versus just doing the logical thing, which is upgrading the automobile.
Yeah, just getting a new car altogether. Well, it's interesting because now there are 2 cameras in front of me.
Yeah.
And only one of them is working? Is that the deal?
One of them is working.
Okay.
I'm looking at it right now.
So this is not a 2-shot of me. It's just a 1-shot.
There is a single camera on you, so
cool.
You will not see me again today, which is just fine with me. That's no punishment to me. I don't care. It doesn't, but my point is we need to have some sort of staff meeting and discuss cost-benefit analysis and ROI because we keep buying the cables that keep not working. It would probably just be cheaper to buy better cameras.
Okay. Well, I think message received.
On to Epstein.
I'd rather have the camera on Kevin.
You have the wildest theory on this Epstein thing, and I am fascinated to hear you say this out loud because people are either going to hear this, and it's going to be one of two things. They're either going to go, that is the most brilliant thing I've ever heard, or people are going to do like I did and Matt Bear did, and we're going to point at you and laugh. So either way, I
don't think you pointed at me and laughed.
Oh, internally I did. I was pointing and laughing.
Okay.
I was trying to be professional when
Is
you
that what
presented
you were
to
doing?
me. Okay, so real quick. We can all agree that that Bondi and Patel, and then by extension Trump, looked terrible yesterday because we didn't get anything we didn't already have.
Correct.
And people are excoriating them on Twitter after all this time for not giving us anything new.
Yeah, so they released what they called the Epstein Files Phase 1 yesterday, and the only new information really was that there were 254 victims involved, and there was a very last page that explained that there was FBI notes and some Secret Service person was involved with obscuring more victims for someone.
Okay, but there's no thing as though we've been led to believe, and you and I, by the way,
black book.
You and I said this yesterday, this was going to be a giant nothing.
Yeah.
And we were completely right about that. So we're taking credit for being right because there was no way that they had something big and they didn't, and there was no smoking gun. There was no so-and-so, molested 10 underage girls on Epstein Island, right? Like that does not exist in any things we were given yesterday. The other part of this that pisses people off, and rightfully so, is they made this some sort of media circus, giving these influencers this stuff. This is serious crap.
Yeah.
These girls, they're not even women in many cases, these girls were totally taken advantage of.
Yep.
Their lives were ruined, and you're doing some sort of reality television show with it. It pissed a lot of people off, including on our side of the aisle, and it should have, because this is the crap the left does. This is the thing you see on the left all the time, and that was very offensive yesterday at something of this magnitude, that's how they did it.
Yeah, I mean, when you saw the photos and the smiles, it just looked like another club that you're not in, is what it was. And to me, it could have looked like Harry Sison would have done that for the Biden administration.
You are 100%.
Same
100%
exact
right.
thing. So this whole new "we're the media now," take it seriously because it's a serious thing. I mean, it's a global pedophile organization and it implicates world leaders. And as you mentioned, people were raped and trafficked and treated horribly. And then you've got these influencers, these drooling influencers who are smiling, and you could see it on their face. They were like I'm special. Look what I got. I got the invite into the White House.
Yeah, shame on Trump for allowing this to happen, because ultimately it all rests with him. And, okay, I want you to have all the time in the world to lay out your theory. I'm going to say what I think real quick, and then I'll get out of the way and let you go with this, because people are either going to be like, oh, my gosh, that's brilliant, or they're going to be like, ooh, boy, were you drinking last night, lady? One
Possibly,
of the two.
Yeah.
I think that they are between a rock and a hard place, because the reality is, if you have actually followed the Epstein case, the majority of the information has already come out.
It's out.
It's almost in a weird way. This is a very weird analogy, but it's almost like trying to get information on the IEDC. We talked about that big, piece that that big piece that Capitol Chronicle did, where they, found out how much money we have wasted as taxpayers on LEAP, but they said, look, it took us 6 months. We had Nikki Kelly on yesterday. She said it took 6 months to get this together because it's very hard to get information. They try to not give you information. You got to know what to look and where to look for. Sort of like the same thing with Epstein. I'm not trying to equate Epstein Island with the LEAP district, but it's a similar thing in the sense of, if you follow the thing closely and you know what to look for, most of the information came out, like in the Maxwell trial.
In the trial.
A lot of this has already been out there. And the thing that the Trump orbit kept trying to present to people, without saying it directly, but basically saying it, was, oh, there's some sort of black book type thing with all the names in it of all the people that were there, and I'm going to get elected and we're going to do this. And it really, they did this deliberately. It fed into the narrative of people who tend to be conspiratorial in their thinking, and they want to believe, hey, there's this silver bullet out there with all of these people's names that give you the skinny on this, or the dirt on this worldwide pedophile ring. And it doesn't exist. It didn't. If it existed, it would have been in the trial. It doesn't. It's not a thing. It does not exist. There's nowhere anywhere other than in the words of people on the internet where this book supposedly exists. And why would it? He knows. He being Epstein knew who was there. He doesn't need to write it down. It's not like he was running a small city. He knew directly who was on there. And Trump and his orbit have used this for years now as a way to motivate people to vote for him. And they know they don't have it. They know they don't have it. And yesterday, the only logical explanation on why you would treat something this serious in that nature is they said, well, if we send these people out, and we have them hold up these binders, and then they'll go on Twitter and tell other people about how great it is that this thing is coming out, then maybe we can distract them from what we don't actually have, which is this end-all, be-all list of who was on Epstein Island.
Right. So they're saying we're being so transparent. Look what we're doing. We're inviting these influencers into the White House, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. They either know they're not going to get to the bottom of this because the bottom's gotten to already, and this is it. Or there's the idea that maybe the Trump administration is trying to use this to smoke out the rats within the DOJ.
Okay, let's take a break because I want to give you time to get into this because I don't want to cut you short because I want to have a little back and forth with you on this because you have a fascinating theory on what happened yesterday.
It's giving them a whole lot of credit if they're this smart.
Yes, yes. And so I want to give you plenty of time to get into this because I don't agree with you on this at all, but I do think you've thought it through, and so I want to let you lay it out to the masses.
All right, it's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC.
Rare earth minerals.
It's a good deal. It's an important deal.
President Trump might sign it at the White House Friday with Ukraine's leader Volodymyr Zelensky.
To say that we're not engaged with them is just not accurate.
Another update is just minutes away.
Stripping naked and throwing underwear.
July 15th of 2023.
Indianapolis Airport federal prison time.
On the level.
Missing teenager from Beach Grove found dead.
On the go.
15-year-old Shaylee Snyder missing since February 10th.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You tried to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
Cold weather brings hot savings at Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $12,000 off and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. So get in on those hot savings at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 61,695. Offers good through February 28, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Why do so many basement companies want half the money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joiner Homes is ready to make your dream come true. Over 18 years, Joiner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana. And the best place to start is joinerhomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joiner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joyner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at joinerhomes.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331.
Thinning hair? This year, grow your hair back like I did. Call 317-522-2995 or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, with leading-edge treatment options right in your backyard.
I feel blessed and lucky. If I knew someone that was going through what I was going through, I would definitely encourage them to participate in a clinical trial. For me, it was life-changing.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Okay, you have this fascinating theory on what happened yesterday with the Epstein files. So again, just a reminder, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Kev is here as well. By the way, happy birthday to Carl. We totally missed this yesterday. It was Carl's birthday.
It was his birthday yesterday.
Carl's 28th birthday.
Right.
And we didn't celebrate or anything. I didn't even find out until I was leaving the building. And somebody was like, oh, it's Jeff Rickard. He was like, happy birthday, Carl. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
So it was Carl's birthday yesterday. Carl has also actually fixed the cameras.
Oh, did he? They're working now.
Yeah, you notice how one's on me and one's on you?
You know, I don't pay attention to what's going on.
Carl was here 13 hours yesterday on his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
He just lives here.
You know what happened? He played "Happy Birthday" the birthday song from the Beatles as bumper music during the Tony Katz show.
Uh-huh.
And Tony Katz said, "I don't know whose birthday it is," anyway, and moved on. Tony, it was your producer's birthday.
Boy, you want to talk about being totally out of touch with all corners of humanity.
He didn't care to ask.
Okay, so you have an interesting theory. Real quick, let's just reset. So, 2 days ago, Pam Bondi comes out on Fox News, who's the Attorney General, and says, I am releasing Epstein information at some point tomorrow.
Yes, and then she kind of started to backpedal just a little and said some information.
Yeah, and then it was afternoon that they finally had all of these social media influencers. They didn't put it out on some government website.
No.
She didn't hold some press conference.
Correct.
She didn't, go on national television with the great reveal.
And you're thinking to yourself, why are they picking winners and losers? Why are they picking select influencers into the White House for this?
And it isn't even like they did some thing with well-known, respected members of the media, like a Brett Baer or somebody like that. I know some people don't like him, but people that generally are seen as kind of down the middle, fair people.
Wasn't Jesse Waters?
Well, right, or even Joe Rogan.
Right.
It was these guys like the dude that goes by DC Drano on Twitter. Really?
Yeah, so
a worldwide sex ring and its information on that, and you're giving it to some guy named DC Drano on Twitter?
Thank you. You're giving my theory a little bit more weight by saying this.
Okay, so I said, and then I will turn it over to you. And Trump got ripped for this yesterday by a lot of people on our side of the aisle because that was totally disrespectful way to do this for something of this magnitude. This isn't politics. This is hundreds of girls who were abused and their lives were ruined by this guy. And the fact that it seemed like they were trying to play politics with this, again, don't take it from me. It was people all over our side, including people like Laura Loomer who loved Trump, who were all over this. Okay, so my theory is they have nothing. Most of the stuff has already come out. If you follow it closely, if you know where to look in the trial, the Maxwell trial, et cetera. And they campaigned on this because people who are more conspiratorial minded want to or
they
inclined to believe
more.
Like there's some sort of book with the names in it or whatever. My theory is they've never had that. It doesn't exist. Epstein didn't need that. He knew he's not, like I said, not running a large city of people who are coming and going. He had control over who came and went, and it just doesn't exist. And now they're out of real estate. And I think they thought yesterday, if we do this and we put a little bit out here, it's mostly stuff you already know, but if we have these DC Drano type people then go on the internet and say, oh, look at how great this is, because of course they'll do whatever to be connected to Trump. maybe people won't see through it, which people did. Now, that's my theory. You have another theory on this.
Okay, there's also the idea that there are a lot of tapes and audio recordings and things still locked up somewhere in the Southern District, New York office, right? So why would Pam Bondi, if she knows that she doesn't really have anything new that hasn't been released, why would she do this? Some people are saying that was a horrible PR stunt. What if it wasn't a PR stunt at all? Because you've got DC Drano, Libs of TikTok, Liz Wheeler, a couple other ones. They get this invite to come to the White House. And these are people that have been banging on this for a while. They want the Epstein list released. And you hear, oh, you know, you're the new media now, and the Trump administration is going to be transparent. So to make these people feel legitimate, they invite them to the White House. They take them, and DC Drano did a live last night on X, and he said a lot of things. He said that they invited them in, and they went to the Roosevelt Room, which is the room right next door to the Oval Office. Caroline Leavitt came in. She's the White House press secretary. Then J.D. Vance came in. They talked to RFK Jr. Marco Rubio was there. I mean, these are high-level people, right? And then Pam Bondi and Kash Patel came in and gave them those binders. The first page in that binder was the note from Pam Bondi to Kash Patel saying, they're not giving me all my information that I want.
Okay, real quick. So, again, if you're not following this closely, Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, is now alleging that there is more information that the FBI is sitting on, and she is demanding that Kash Patel have whoever holds the key to this lock unlock that information so that she can give it out to the masses.
Correct. So Pam Bondi and Kash Patel go into the Roosevelt Room together. The front page is that note. Kash Patel knows already that they're not giving up the information. Then they go into the Oval Office. They take a picture with Donald Trump. And then these social media influencers are told, don't post anything that's in this binder until after the DOJ has a chance to put it online. And then they leave. And then all the photos that everybody saw happen. That was mostly foreign press that were there covering the prime minister's from UK, his visit there.
Yes.
So all of those pictures were taken mostly from the foreign press. They knew that foreign press was outside there. Pam Bondi knew that there wasn't any new information in that binder. So why invite all of these influencers who said that they were feeling lightheaded, they were just overwhelmed at the reception they were getting in the White House? I mean, they were given the treatment by the White House to be there, meeting with Trump, shown the Oval Office. Obviously, they were trying to woo them, making them feel special.
Right.
They all leave. They get those pictures taken. They're told not to post anything on their social media accounts until after the DOJ has a chance to do so. And then they were told there's a holdup. The DOJ isn't posting anything right away. So you got to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
A little bit longer for all of those pictures with them holding up these binders to circulate everywhere.
Right.
I think if this, you got to believe that they're really smart in this. This was their way of trying to smoke out the rats within the FBI, within the DOJ, who aren't playing along with the information that they do have. It was a scare tactic. They were trying to see who was going to scurry when all of those pictures went around the world.
Okay, so your theory is
they use those social media influencers.
They're somehow tracking these people in the FBI to see what their movements are related to this.
See what they're going to do.
Okay, the only problem with this is Trump's a marketing genius. And
Correct.
He made himself look like an idiot yesterday because the narrative on Twitter wasn't what these influencers put out. The narrative was from his side of the aisle. You lied to us. There's nothing in here. The Kash Patel said day one, I will release this information.
Right.
What day are we on?
like 6 or 7.
Yeah, right. So it's not like something that he got hit with by Pam. He would have had to have known. Shouldn't Pam Bondi, who's been on the confirmation track / confirmed way ahead of him, shouldn't she, because she said this was a big deal, shouldn't she have let him know, hey, Kash Patel, I'm not able to get this from the FBI, so that day one he's able to walk in there and get the stuff? I think you're giving these people too much credit.
Well, that's the thing. You have to believe that they're really smart in doing this.
I think it's an interesting theory. I just think we end up having these conspiracy theories, and they don't come true. And we keep saying, well, the next thing will be they were holding back.
Mm-hmm.
They were sucking them in.
If she knew that she wasn't getting the information, why invite all those people there and release these binders knowing there's nothing in them other than to use them to find out who is on their side?
There is, we may run just a minute long here, John. There's an old saying in dating, and Kev, you can use this if you want at some point. Fake it till you make it, right? You got to stay in the game as long as you possibly can when you know you've got no game, and you just hope nobody ever figures out you don't have any game. If you can fake it long enough, you might be able to make that person believe, if enough smoke and mirrors, right, that there's no substance behind the smoke and mirrors. Now, eventually, everybody will figure it out, right? But if you stay in it long enough, you might get an enjoyable experience or two out of it.
Well, if it's true that they're not releasing the information to the Attorney General after she requested it, like if there is stuff that she says they're not releasing it to me and there actually is stuff, well, that means that there is an internal battle for power within the DOJ, and she's using those influencers as a scare tactic to see what they do.
We should find out real quick here.
Yeah.
Next couple days. All right. John's got the news, and we got an update. Big update on property taxes. We have a hearing date in the House on when the gutted Senate Bill 1 will be heard in Ways and Means.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Dads happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster, too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Friday, a day where it's windy, mostly sunny and 41 degrees in downtown Indy at the moment. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:30. A wind advisory goes into effect for much of Indiana at 10 this morning, with gusts reaching more than 30 miles an hour at times. Then Indiana might get some rough weather after today.
Tuesday, that we could have a strong storm system moving through the plain states, and that could bring some severe weather, strong thunderstorms to the Ohio Valley.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says it's best if you secure any items you have outside. Norovirus on a cruise ship. The CDC reports 79 passengers and 9 crew members on the Holland America's Eurodam have been sickened with it. It left Port Everglades on February 19th, scheduled to last 10 days and make multiple stops throughout the Caribbean before returning to Florida tomorrow. Norovirus is a very contagious illness that causes vomiting and diarrhea. At least 4 other cruises have been impacted by an outbreak this year. Hollywood's top movies will be honored at the Academy Awards this weekend. Emilia Perez leads the field with 13 nominations. It airs Sunday night at 7. We'll have an Oscar spotlight for you coming up at noon today. And also, it is time for your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. So far, the Dow is up 190 points to 43,486. The S&P 500 is up 11 points to 5,886. And the NASDAQ is down by a point at 20,064. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day.
Who let the dogs out?
Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
My brother never checks on Dad. Or, my sister won't make time to take Mom to the doctor. Are these things you've heard yourself say? This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I have a caregiving tip for you. Stay tuned.
Cardon and Associates offers the finest senior living options tailored to your loved one's needs. Reservations are now being accepted for new apartments at Copper Trace in Westfield. Visit cardon.com.
Expressing anger or resentment toward unsupportive siblings can cause unmendable rifts in relationships. Don't try to control everyone else. You can only control yourself. The success of your caregiving journey does not rest on others. So enjoy the time with your loved one. This is your special time with them. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Spring in Indy, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint. And the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
With Rhino Shield's 25-year transferable warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again. And right now, you can have Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
Okay, we got some big updates on the property tax dealio. You ready for this, Casey?
Yes, I am.
Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. First of all, update on our big event coming up March the 17th. If you missed yesterday's show, March 17th, we are doing a big rally at the State House to try to move these lawmakers. We assume it'll still be in the House at that point. In terms of supporting Braun's property tax bill, primarily the bill reset that was taken out on the Senate side. So it'll be March the 17th, 1 p.m. Casey and I are going to broadcast our regular show 9 to noon from the pig outside the Lieutenant Governor's office. There's a, as you don't know, there's a giant pig, because obviously the Lieutenant Governor oversees agriculture. Right. So in honor of that, they've always had for a long time now, they've had this giant pig that is outside of the Lieutenant Governor's office. And so we'll be out there broadcasting. And then at 1 p.m., we're asking everybody to show up. This is the Custer's last stand of the property tax fight. We want you to be there. We want you to be loud. My goal is to make the walls of the State House shake. We want you to wear green. It is St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
And we want you to wear green because the angry red-shirted teachers caught on to, if you just wear a color-coordinated, apparatus, operation, then lawmakers will do whatever you want. So we'll go with green because we'd like our money back.
We want our money back. That's right.
So that's 1 p.m. on the 17th. Micah's going to speak. We will speak.
Jason Hammer is going to MC.
He's going to MC. And now I can announce not one, not two, but three, Casey.
Yeah.
Members of the Indiana House of Representatives who are going to speak at this event.
Really?
Yesterday.
Do we know who? Can we say who?
We can say. They've given me permission. And by the way, if you're a state rep who wants to be a decent member of humanity and you want to get in on this jelly, we're open. If you want to come speak in favor of the people, we are here for you.
I want to guess.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Is one of them J.D. Prescott?
It is. One of them is J.D. Prescott.
Ding. Okay.
Now, he's on Ways and Means, and we'll get to that in a second. So J.D. Prescott is one of them.
You said three?
There's three.
Is Andrew Ireland
Andrew Ireland is going to be one of them. He represents Indianapolis.
Wow,
he will
doing
be
pretty good.
Now, you probably won't get the third one.
Yeah, that's all I can
Craig Haggard, who
Okay.
represents like Mooresville, Greenwood, he's going to speak as well. So, and then maybe we're open to adding more. By the way, if any senator has had an Ebenezer Scrooge moment where they've been visited by the ghosts of government accountability, past, present, and future, and you've waken up from a cold sweat shouting, "I'll change," and you'd like to get in on this as well, you're more than welcome to attend too. So that'll be we're gonna make some noise. We're gonna get out some frustration. We're gonna have a rowdy good time on March the 17th at 1 p.m.
Yes, that's at the State House. Inside the State House, wear green. That's on Monday. So make sure you're there with us. We want your support.
And look, we have banked everything on you guys showing up. This is a big risk because if we do this and it's a subpar turnout, those lawmakers are going to go, see, they didn't really even care. Yeah. See, that didn't matter. We are banking on you guys. We are taking the risk. We are, instead of putting it all on red, we're putting it all on you, the listeners of WIBC, to come, to bring your friends. We need to get 1,000 people in that State House. I want to overflow out of the State House. I want to make those walls shake, and I believe you. And look, if you want to get something done, this is going to be your way to get it done. And we've been honest with you throughout this whole thing about what we think will work, what won't work. We've been pretty much spot on through all this, and I think this will be a really big opportunity.
Did you see the tweet that the Indiana Republican senator sent out last night?
No.
Enacting meaningful property tax reform.
Time out. This is from the official Indiana Republican senator's Twitter account.
Yeah, it's IN Senate GOP.
Okay, very good.
They said enacting meaningful property tax reform. They said Senate Bill 1 contains historic growth control measures and is projected to provide $1.4 billion in property tax relief over the next 3 years.
Maybe they're not familiar with their own votes, Casey.
Yeah.
Because, while there are some things that do stop the growth, not stop the growth, but we'll use their term, control the growth going forward, all they did for you after your property taxes have skyrocketed the past 4 years and are about to skyrocket again. By the way, keep in mind, assessments come out end of April, right after they'll adjourn from session. So you won't get any help with that. After you've been screwed, they'll just keep you from getting screwed as much going forward, Casey. And in their world, boy, we've really done some heavy lifting over here.
I'm helping.
Okay, so the other thing, yes, we do have a date now. March the 5th, that is a Wednesday. The Ways and Means Committee will get the gutted Senate Bill 1, and that will be at 1:30. It'll be in room 404 at the State House. They will take public testimony, so you can look forward to maybe our old pal Spendin' Sue. Maybe she can get her story straight with the council president there in Carmel if public safety is or is indeed
in jeopardy.
We don't know. I mean, she just put another tweet out yesterday I saw. We're talking about how great the deal they made with the police and fire are. So don't know, but you are welcome to go and speak. We're going to actually have J.D. Prescott on Monday. We're scheduled to have him on Monday, and he's on that committee. So, look, I think we're in an interesting position over in the House because we have, I know of at least 3. There's many more, but we have, people who are openly aligned with us on this. We didn't have any of that in the Senate. There was nobody who came out and was like, yeah, you guys are spot on, and Braun is spot on, and, let's go. You've got some people. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be the people who are going to single-handedly, turn the tide on this, but you do have the ability. We have some friends in there who I think especially in the committee and then in the amendment process when the whole House can weigh in, are going to have the opportunity to really speak up for the people and hopefully, make a difference on this. So I guess Monday I'll try to get the list of all the people on Ways and Means. We'll maybe set up a little email campaign for that.
We'll have to let everybody know who they are.
Yeah, and then obviously the big one is clear your calendar for March the 17th at 1 p.m. So that is the latest, and you can go speak March 5th, 1:30, room 404. You can go.
Do you have to sign up in advance to go speak, or is it just to show up?
Yeah, you show up and you get. I'm sure it's different now. When I used to go, they had an actual piece of paper you'd fill out, and they put them in a pile, and then they just go. I'm sure they have some electronic method now that's more advanced, but you can show up and say, is my understanding, I'd like to tell you how much I've been screwed the past couple of years, and they will sit there and likely ignore you in the order in which you were received, but waste their time the way they're wasting yours.
It's interesting that we're going to have some of these House reps speak at the rally. I wonder how that is received from their colleagues.
And let me be very specific. I did not. I did reach out initially to JD because I thought he would be because
he's someone who wants to eliminate property taxes altogether.
Yeah, he's on Ways and Means, and he was like, "Oh yeah, totally, I'll do it." But then the other two reached out to me, and one directly, and then one through somebody else. And so again, if you're a senator who's had some sort of change of heart, or you are a state rep who wants to join this, I mean, it's going to be a swarm of people in that state house, and our goal is to get 1,000, but it's going to be a lot of people. Great opportunity to get in front of some very passionate people on, and you all know how to get a hold of me, so just reach out or have somebody else reach out.
Yep. So again, they're going to, the House is going to start with the Ways and Means Committee on March 5th, 1:30, room 404. But then the big day is Monday, March 17th.
Now, I was told, I think I probably go ahead and reveal this now, by a reliable source that there were some pretty intense negotiations going on over the past several days. And I don't know what those were. All I will say is Braun seemed pretty confident when he came in here with Hammer and Nigel, given where the thing is at and the sort of resounding rejection that he got from the Senate on the part of the bill that makes the thing work.
The rate reset.
He seemed very optimistic when he was in here. So again, I'm not privy to any of that. I have no idea. I just reveal to you things little birdies floating around the State House tell me, and I was told over the last several days that they've really been working hard, and maybe they've come up with something good. Don't know, but we'll do our part however we can.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show, broadcasting live at Woodland Bowl, starting at 3. It's Red, White, and Bowl, presented by Jack Daniels. It's Beer Sample Friday. Let's have a day.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe, laugh until your belly aches, cry because you care so much, and experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Technology Recyclers is the safe and ethical choice for your computer and electronics recycling. R2 certified, 100% landfill free, guaranteed destruction of data, and absolutely free pickups. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
Rob, we have to give an update. We talked about this yesterday. In fact, we opened the show talking about this, and that is the death of Gene Hackman. And when it originally was reported, they said that no foul play was involved, and they were still figuring out what the cause of death was.
Yeah, we thought that was kind of weird, though, that they would just immediately say, well, no foul play when they both died. It's one thing, he's 95 years old. She comes home and finds him, keeled over. Hey, that's, at that age, you're on borrowed time, right, to begin with. So good on you making it that long. But when they both die and the dog is found dead, too, that was kind of the weird thing. Then you say, well, okay, maybe it was carbon monoxide poisoning.
That was my initial reaction when I saw no foul play. They all passed away. Okay, that could be a thing.
I mean, we just kind of were like, yeah, it must have been carbon monoxide poisoning. How often does that happen? Like, how often in your daily life do you hear in your town where you live, Frank died of carbon monoxide poisoning? We kind of just accepted it like it was some sort of, like, a heart attack or whatever. And it's like, I've got thinking more about this. Like, what famous people, Weird Al Yankovic's parents, I think they died of that. But, like, what famous person have you ever heard of? Well, it was the carbon monoxide poisoning that got him. This is not 1935 anymore. This is, 2025. Like, I'm sure he lived in a very nice house in New Mexico. The odds of that happening seem relatively slim. And now they've come out, and there's allegedly all of these details about the death that you're going, that doesn't sound like that sounds very suspicious.
Yeah, so Gene Hackman, who is 95, and his wife, Betsy, who is 64, they were found in their New Mexico home, and now their deaths are being described as suspicious. They were found around 1:45 p.m. by a couple maintenance workers, and apparently the door to their home was open, although they didn't find any forced entry. Hackman was found in a mudroom near his cane. His glasses were off, laying next to him, almost as if he had fallen. Her body was found in a bathroom near a space heater, and there were prescription pills scattered on the countertop next to her. And her body allegedly showed signs of decomposition, bloating, and they're saying mummification in her hands and feet.
So this is now where people are really getting focused on. And I think some people, like everybody's a CSI investigator, right?
Well, sure.
Okay, so bodies compose at different levels depending on things like, one, the condition of the person, where did they pass away at, how long have they been, all of these things factor in. There's not some smoking gun, because people hear the word mummification, they're like, oh my gosh, she's been there a month and a half. That's not necessarily true. Now, it is come out that people had not talked to them in quite some time, which he has kids. I don't know if they're her kids or not, but he has kids. In the modern era, where everybody has a cellular telephone, how do you go any length of time and not communicate with your parents if you have any sort of relationship?
Especially when they're of that age.
Exactly. I mean, she's younger, but clearly, and I forgot to look, maybe Kev can look up if they have kids together, if it's kids from the first marriage for him. But wouldn't you be checking on a regular basis? Hey, Dad, how are you doing?
Right.
How's Mom? All of those. So a lot of the unanswered questions here, because somebody was starting to say, well, it'd been several weeks or a couple weeks before since people had heard from them. But that wasn't unusual because he was kind of a recluse anyway. But wouldn't your family,
He does have two daughters, Leslie and Elizabeth, and a granddaughter. And they issued statements expressing their sadness and devastation over their deaths. But to your point, why were they not checking in?
We're glad they're gone?
Why were they not checking in before? So there were no obvious signs of a gas leak, they say, or foul play or blunt force trauma. There was a healthy dog that was found running loose on the property. But it is rather suspicious that the door was open. They were in 2 different locations, the pills being scattered around, and yet they're still saying it will take 4 to 6 weeks to determine the official cause of death.
I think these kids are like from an early marriage.
Yeah, they're from this previous marriage.
Yeah, because I'm looking at photos here, and it's very like Superman era. This is clearly like the 1970s or early 80s photos here. So, yeah. So, I mean, they're obviously, these kids are probably in their 50s or 60s at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I assume they're all still living. But, yeah, you would think one of them would have been like, hey, has anybody seen or heard from Dad? And good on him marrying a woman that is... what is she, like 31 years younger than him?
30 years
Good
younger.
for him. Good on him.
They met at a gym.
Well, sure they did.
Well, they were working out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he was really, he was the squats and the bench press and no doubt, just getting a rigorous physical exertion in. Yeah, good on him. And she was especially, I mean, let's face it, Gene Hackman is not, it's not Brad Pitt, right? I mean, she's.
I didn't think you noticed people's appearances.
Well,
Rob.
I'm just saying. I mean, I notice. I notice jaw lines.
He had the status.
Okay.
We did. Well, this is the point, right? I mean, she's. Now, this photo here I'm looking at. Let's see if Daily Mail identifies how old this photo is. I'm going to guess this. Yeah, I was going to say that was 2003. I was going to say that's at least a 20-year-old photo. But she was, in her prime. Pretty well assembled. So good on. Of course, he was worth $1 gajillion.
Yeah, he's got a big wallet.
Yeah, right. I mean, what's he going to do? Marry Rosie O'Donnell? Come on.
Apparently, she was a classical pianist too. So good for him.
Well, yeah, yes, good for him, Kevin.
Educated,
absolutely,
well-rounded musician.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, we'll maybe by Monday we'll have some more answers.
Yeah. Yep. There's most likely going to be some search warrants. So Melania Trump has announced she's going to host the White House Easter egg roll, and that's going to happen on April 21st. There's an online lottery for free tickets. Those are available from March 4th through March 10th, and this is for families with children aged 13 and younger. Of course, the Easter egg roll was canceled in 2020 and in 2021. And then wasn't it during the Biden administration that there were half-naked people there for the Easter
Wasn't
egg
the
roll?
trans person showing his...
You had the bunny
breasts.
that was waving him off and trying to get Biden away from people asking him questions. So I'm sure the Easter egg roll will be a little different this year.
No, these are not real eggs that they're using, right?
Well, that's the question, right? Because if they are,
that's expensive.
Where are they getting them from?
Right. Yeah, I think that would be a bad look as the American people are struggling to get their eggs. By the way, the Brownsburg Walmart, I went to the store last night, had just a full batch of eggs. All the eggs you could have imagined
No
were
problem.
At the Brownsburg Walmart.
The Meyer Avon didn't get their shipment in.
Well, you want to go classy, you go with the best, you go to Walmart, Case.
Okay.
You know this.
So the Easter egg roll is a tradition that's been going on since 1878 during Rutherford B. Hayes' administration.
You remember him?
Oh, sure. We used to hang out all the time. You are listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Mark Dietl is the only local Indianapolis real estate expert I trust with the sale of my home, and I would trust Mark and his team to find me a new home as well. Look what happened with Crystal in Franklin. She was moving to Kentucky and needed to move fast. When she got the Mark Dietl marketing plan, she was blown away. The plan worked. Crystal got full list price in the first weekend. Just like that, Mark and his team got it done.
Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is what separates Mark Dietl from the competition. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietl today. At least start a conversation. 317-755-4232 or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com.
The new year means new deals at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. This is where you get your next Ford car, truck, SUV, EV, or fleet vehicle. Elevate your journey right now with the new 2024 Ford Expedition Platinums. Save over $15,000 off MSRP. Equipped with a high-output 3.5-liter EcoBoost, it delivers up to 400 horsepower for commanding performance. And with the premium leather-trimmed interior and wood accents, you're sure to enjoy your time on the road. Need something a little smaller but still enough room? Check out the new 2024 Ford Edge SE. Save over $6,500 off MSRP. You gotta check out everything going on at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Get more to your door. Simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it directly to you. Visit the showroom, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore, M-O-H-R.
I love Andy.
andymoreford.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text MAIN to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text MAIN to 321-321. That's MAIN to 321-321.
It's time to throw your overpriced big wireless contract overboard with a qualifying plan. You can choose an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0. Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will make the switch in as little as 10 minutes. No hassle, no gimmicks, just honest-to-goodness wireless price right. Dial pound 250, you say the keywords Pure Talk, claim your new iPhone or Galaxy with a qualifying purchase from Pure Talk, which is America's wireless company. Visit puretalk.com for details.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what the winds may throw at you today. A comedy club in Indianapolis you may know well is closing. You'll hear why, and why a teacher in Greenfield is in some trouble. Those stories and much more coming up after Fox News Radio. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it's now 10 o'clock.
Cooling inflation. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Americans cut spending last month at the sharpest rate in 4 years, despite that decline in consumer inflation.
Commerce Department data shows consumer spending dipped 0.2% in January, likely due to cold weather, but raising concerns about economic uncertainty. Inflation eased to 2.5% year over year, with core prices at 2.6%, the lowest since June. A report from the Federal Reserve's Boston branch says Trump tariffs could lift core inflation by as much as 0.8%. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
On Wall Street, the Dow was up 200 points this morning, the S&P up 12, the Nasdaq's down 36. Challengers to a Trump administration freeze on international aid funds have until noon today to file a response to Chief Justice John Roberts' order Wednesday. That order delayed a midnight Wednesday deadline for the funds to be dispersed, set by a lower court. More USAID workers, meantime, who've been let go are clearing out their desks today at headquarters in D.C., given 15 minutes to do it. Getting support from people driving by there. The Trump administration calls the United States Agency for International Development wasteful and corrupt. Ukraine's President Zelensky is due at the White House next hour, expected to sign off on an economic cooperation deal.
The mineral rights deal expected to be signed here today includes a joint venture between the U.S. and Ukraine to extract minerals out of the ground. The United States will be given a 50% share. While the U.K. has signaled a willingness to send peacekeeping forces to Ukraine along with the French, Russia's top diplomat says this is a non-starter. Last night in an exclusive interview with Bret Baier, Britain's prime minister says the U.K. will spend $17 billion more in defense over the next 2 years, but says all of Europe must ramp up defense spending to send a message to Putin.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. President Trump plans to sign an executive order making English the official language of the United States. It would negate a rule issued by former President Clinton requiring assistance for non-English speakers at federal agencies. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What you'll be contending with in terms of the weather. Partly cloudy and 45 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. A wind advisory is now in effect for much of Indiana, and it will stay in effect until 7 tonight.
And essentially that means that we're going to have some higher wind gusts through the course of the day. Winds today during that time frame could gust as high as 40 miles an hour. So if you're outside today, you're certainly going to notice those strong gusty winds.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says the strongest gusts will be north of I-70. He's also urging you to watch out for some storms early next week. Staffing concerns and rising costs are the reasons why Crackers Comedy Club in downtown Indianapolis will soon close its doors. The owner, Ruth Ann Herber, expressed deep sadness in announcing the closure and thanked customers for their support over the years. Refunds will be issued for tickets and gift certificates, and she's encouraging you to support other comedy venues in the area. A teacher in Greenfield is on leave. School police determined that physical education teacher Joshua McIntyre was not in a state appropriate to supervise students, and he refused to submit to a chemical screening earlier this week. McIntyre also did not want to accept a ride home from school staff, and he left school grounds under police supervision. Defunding NPR. That's something Indiana Republican Senator Jim Banks wants to do. Harrison Silcox reports.
It's right there in the name of the bill. The Defund NPR Act would eliminate any federal funds going to NPR.
Why would our taxpayer dollars ever be going to fund something like that? DOJ is taking a look at it, but I introduced a bill to block that money, and I think we have a good chance here in these reconciliation bills to block that kind of insanity from continuing into the future.
Banks talking with WIBC's Hammer and Nigel. In his words, NPR's liberal propaganda, and it's why he wants to cut their funding. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The NFL Combine continues in Indianapolis. The Indianapolis Colts are taking a serious look at Penn State tight end Tyler Warren, something that Warren says is exciting.
Yeah, I met with them yesterday as well, and been in Indy before, and I like the stadium a lot and kind of the area, so that'd be just the opportunity to have a chance to play in the NFL, and if it was here, that'd be awesome.
Tight ends will be working out for NFL scouts today at Lucas Oil Stadium. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 10:04, Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
You love spring in Indy, but you hate to paint, so do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
The house that Rhino Shield did for my husband and I, after having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Indy, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield, and I am just thrilled to recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Friday, February 28th. It is 5 minutes after 10. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. Donald Trump, he plans to sign an executive order making English the official language of the United States. The order is going to rescind Bill Clinton's 2000 directive that required federal funding recipients to offer services to those with limited English proficiency. So it's going to establish a national language for the first time in U.S. history.
Great. Because the majority of the people in this country speak English.
It's a way to assimilate into the culture, correct?
And this is one of the things we have talked about with not only illegal immigration, which is obvious, but even the way they've set up, especially under Biden, with this TPS status stuff, the mass of people who have come into this country who have no interest in being American. They have no interest in assimilating into this country, taking on our cultures, taking on our norms, becoming a part of the country that they claim, to want to be in. They want us to be like them, or they have no interest in becoming a part of us. We'll all be different, and that's okay. And we've talked about, like, in these cities, these states that have these mass TPS people. Look at the communities they're in. Look at the neighborhoods they're in. Those don't look the way the rest of your city or your state or whatever looks. And I think that's a major concern to people, is that we have a vested interest in having an immigration policy that rewards people who want to come here and work. They want to assimilate into this country. They want to try to achieve the American dream. We should want and welcome that. I've always heard it described big wall, wide gate, right? Like, we have a vested interest in keeping people out who are here to commit crimes, do harm, not become a part of America. But if you want to be those things, if you want to be a good citizen, a good person, you want to be a part of and become American yourself, then we should want you in. But there's a lot of people that are here for the benefits, but don't want to be a part of the process.
Don't want to embrace the American culture. And that's the thing. If you want to be here so bad, why do you want to hold on to what you were trying to leave? It's the same thing when these people protest and they have their flags from the country that they were leaving. Why are you doing that? You left that country for a reason to come to this country.
And say what you want about Trump. He has done a very good job thus far of what he can, given the restrictions that he has. As he's not, as much as he likes to joke about it, he's not actually king. Their executive orders can only go so far. But I think he's tried to the best of his ability to do what he can to try to get this immigration stuff under control.
So what this order does, it does allow federal agencies to continue providing documents and services in other languages, but it encourages new Americans to adopt English as their primary language as well.
And why wouldn't you want to? Like, if you're going to a country, why wouldn't you want to learn the language, the customs?
Right, like, why did you come here?
Exactly, thank you.
If you didn't want to embrace it. So President Trump, he received, speaking of English, how about the old language? President Trump, he received an invitation from King Charles III for a second state visit to the United Kingdom.
He's a beautiful man, a wonderful man, and we appreciate it. I've known him, gotten to know him very well, actually. Yeah. First term and now second term. Perhaps you'd like to say what that very important paragraph.
Yes, so this is a letter from His Majesty the King. It's an invitation for a second state visit. This is really special. This has never happened before. This is unprecedented. And I think that just symbolises the strength of the relationship between us. So this is a very special letter. I think the last state visit was a tremendous success. His Majesty the King wants to make this even better than that. So this is truly historic.
What's he going to say? The last visit was a total dud, so we're going to try and make this one better.
Yeah.
Of course. It's unprecedented.
Yes, it's always with Trump, the biggest, the best, the most unprecedented. It's never happened before in the history of ever.
So Donald Trump, he kind of softened his remarks on Vladimir Zelensky during that visit with the British Prime Minister. And he was asked about calling Zelensky a dictator. And Trump responded by saying, "Did I say that?" I can't believe I said that.
I have no memory of this.
Next question. What else do you have? So,
well, he was saying that because they basically canceled the elections there in Ukraine. I mean, can you imagine if Trump were like, "We're canceling all elections"? What would you call him? What would the left be shrieking and screaming if Trump came out and was like, "I'm canceling the elections"? What would they call him?
A dictator.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you said it. Ain't wrong.
It's pretty busy right now at the White House. Zelensky's scheduled to visit there today, and their discussions are going to focus on that agreement with the U.S. having access to Ukraine's critical mineral supply. One more thing before we get into our next guest, and that is that Kash Patel has suggested bringing in UFC physical fitness programs to the FBI.
Well, we've seen the photos of some of these FBI agents, and they don't, it was a time where you thought of them like the Untouchables, movie, or like Tommy Lee Jones, right? I know he was a U.S. Marshal, but you know what I'm saying? It's like our federal law enforcement officers were the biggest, the best, the brightest among. Now they may be some of the biggest now. If you see some of these photos, but the best and most fit, probably not. I like this.
Yeah.
I like
you
this.
do.
Oh yeah.
You like Dana White and his people are going to come in and start training with the FBI.
I want you to be able to do. I don't think it's unreasonable to be able to do certain things as an FBI agent. My dad was a federal law enforcement officer for 20 years, and at one point he was asked to interview for the FBI, and he actually went through a bunch of the interview process, and he was talking about just going through the interview process itself, what a grueling experience that was. Now that was 40 years ago, and I'm sure now it is just nothing like that, the way they've dumbed it down.
So the proposal is to create this formal relationship between the FBI and the UFC to provide fitness programs for the agents. And I'm really curious if they're going to start having mixed martial arts as part of this new regiment.
Yeah.
It's not just about lifting weights and being strong and running and having your cardio, but are they going to learn new skills as well?
He was telling me, I may be getting the story a little bit wrong. He'll correct me when I do. But he was saying
of course he will.
One of the things, like this is how strenuous the actual interview process was for the FBI, just the interview process. He said, and this would have been in the 1980s, so they would hand you like a revolver, not like an automatic weapon like you have today. But he said they would hand you this weapon, and they said, okay, now in the next minute, you see how many times you can fire this gun within the next minute. And they would keep track of how many times you could pull that trigger in a minute. He said, even that, he's like, you have no idea how exhausting that is until you have to do it. Right. And now I'm sure none of that exists now.
Well, no, because the weapons are completely different.
But I'm saying the actual strenuous nature of the interview process. If you look at some of the people who have made it through, clearly not the standards they once had.
That it used to be. So the FBI agents, they do have to pass a physical fitness test to join the agency, and they're expected to maintain physical strength, flexibility, and endurance while they're in those positions.
Some of those people didn't get that memo, Casey. Hey, okay, so when we come back, we have a special guest. This will either be the best segment we've ever done on the show or the worst segment we've done. And I want to set this up that if it's the best, it's because I prodded you to do this.
Sure.
If it's the worst, it's because this is your friend.
It'll be my fault.
So the other day, you read that email you got from Trump about if you donate, you could win a trip to Mar-a-Lago. Like you're entered in this big pool of people. And so we started talking about, do you know anybody that's ever won some sort of big prize giveaway? I'm not talking like you won the 50-50 at the ball game. I'm saying, have you ever won, you register to win a car or a all expenses paid vacation or a home or whatever.
Something big.
And you said, yes, I have a friend who once won a Jeep.
That's right.
In this giveaway. And I said, I'd love to hear this story about how this person won, what that was like to win, and I'm most interested probably in how they paid the taxes on the thing.
On the prize.
So your friend Scott is going to join us next.
Yep, he's going to join us next and tell us about winning a major award. That's coming up from 93 WIBC.
No matter where you head on your commute, Matt Bear is there. Paris.
Les Champs-Élysées sont un véritable parking ce matin.
Warsaw.
W drodze do pracy, wyjdź trochę wcześniej.
Or Brazil.
Temos bisbilhotice no Rio de Janeiro. Não haja como turista.
Matt, these are all cities in Indiana.
Oh, that makes my job easier.
Making your commute easier. Matt Bear Traffic. Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
It's not uncommon for us to meet with a new client, and the first thing they say is, we heard you on the radio.
How can a partnership with WIBC serve your business?
Hi, my name's Richard Michaelis. Our firm's Michaelis Corporation. We're general contractors, and we specialize in insurance restoration.
Brand awareness.
When our business needed to increase our brand awareness, we looked to Radio 1. Throughout the years, we learned their listeners have a large amount of trust when it comes to businesses that are recommended on air. The on-air talent that endorse Michaelis are real customers with real experiences.
Deliver your message to the audience that matters.
Working with Radio 1 has created brand awareness for Michaelis Corporation.
Take your advertising to the next level. Text business to 71007 now.
We've enjoyed our partnership with Radio 1. We look forward to continuing for many years to come.
Get results with WIBC.
Pat Sullivan here with Michaela of Michaelis. If you have water damage, Why should you call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years experience. On call 24/7, 365. We are IICRC certified and will restore your space to pre-loss condition or better. And we work through the entire insurance process on your behalf to make it easy.
Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Will the streetlights shine down on Blessing Avenue? Lovers
Casey?
Yes, Rob.
This could either be the best segment we've ever done, or it could be the worst segment we've ever done.
Okay. How are we going to determine that?
Well, I'd like to lay out.
Aren't they all like that?
I'd like to lay out some ground rules depending on how it goes.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So if it's the best segment we've ever done, I prodded you to get this guest and do this segment.
This is true.
If it's the worst segment we've ever done,
It was my call.
This is your friend, and I've never met this person before.
This is true.
Okay, so it's the Kendall Casey Show, and Rob Casey's here. The other day, you were mentioning how you are on some sort of Trump email list, right?
I am. I'm in the system, and I get emails from Donald Trump all the time. And the latest one was that I've been invited to Mar-a-Lago. In fact, I got another email from him last night. He said, he loves me.
That's right.
He loves me so
now,
much.
Are these? Do they say Casey on your emails?
They do, actually. And this one said, have you ever wanted to visit Mar-a-Lago?
Oh, how exciting.
I will cover the entire cost. That's how much I want to see you. And then he goes on to say, I'll cover your flight. I'll cover your hotel. I'll cover your dinner.
Wow.
And then click here, enter to win. And then when you click there, it's just a ploy to get you to donate.
So basically, it's one of these things where if you give whatever $25 or however much, then you're supposedly, allegedly, entered into some sort of
drawing.
Yeah. And if I draw your name, you get the goods.
That's right.
And so it sparked back and forth when you were reading this on the air. I said, you hear this all the time. Now, it used to be more common. Like when movies were a big thing, like the Batman summer premiere and McDonald's is partnering. I don't even know if this actually happened, but you get what I'm saying. Like, and you could win a trip to meet Michael Keaton, right? Like there were always these big giveaways tied in, usually with like a fast food chain with a big summer blockbuster, and you assume somebody was the winner.
Somebody's got to win.
It wasn't
these things,
you,
right?
but it was someone.
Someone, you hope, or else they're lying to you.
And so it sparked me to ask you, have you ever met, because I don't know if I've ever met, I think when I was a kid, when I was 10 years old, my buddy Ryan won some sort of giveaway with the Chicago Cubs to be the ball boy for a day. And he got to go meet the players and it was a great experience for him. Got me an autographed baseball too. He was very unselfish. But my point, like I asked you, do you know anybody who's ever won one of these grand prize giveaway sort of things? Because I don't think I do as an adult.
Now, when I was 13 years old, I won a Supertramp album, Breakfast in America, off of the radio. I'm sure they were very disappointed that a 13-year-old won.
Yeah.
But I do know somebody who has won a major prize.
That's very interesting. So you mentioned this on the air the other day. Your friend Scott won a Jeep?
He did. He won a Jeep.
Okay, very good. So I said, look, I think we should get Scott on the line to hear about, because I don't know anybody who's ever won one of these mega prize giveaway things.
That's a big prize.
It
That's
is
worth a lot more than an album.
All right, so Scott is going to join us now on the WIBC hotline. Scott, you're Casey's friend, so I'll let her take it. But I just want to preface this by saying we are the #1 rated radio program in Central Indiana. Don't screw our radio show up. The floor is yours, Casey. Go ahead.
All right, Scott. So Scott and I worked together for many years at WSBT TV in Northern Indiana, and he has a beloved vehicle, at least he used to, a Jeep. And I recall him telling me he won the Jeep, but I don't remember all the details. So, Scott, please walk us through, what did you win? How did you win it? When did you win it?
Well, let me first say I wanted a Jeep since I was 4 years old, and
through the years, deals came up, and for some reason, they always fell through. And I'd never really had a nice car. And in 2000, way back in the day, one of the local drugstores, my bosses, and I told everybody someday I'm going to own a Jeep. So they knew. My bosses went in to buy something at the drugstore, and there was one of those little, tabs of rip off the entry form and mail it in. So they brought it back to me, and I mailed it in. And several weeks later, I got a FedEx form in the mail, and I wasn't sure what it was for. And I opened it. Actually, I was at work, and my wife at the time opened it up, and she said, "Oh, it's that Jeep thing you entered."
No, wait, hey, Scott, real quick question. Like, was this giveaway, do you remember the company that was doing this? Was this actual Jeep, or was this some other company saying, enter to win, and you could win a Jeep?
It was Osco Drugs and a vitamin company.
Okay, very good, very good. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yes, Osco Drugs, that's a name from the past.
Right, well, he did say it was back in the day, year 2000.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the FedEx package, and your wife at the time said this must be the Jeep thing.
Yes, and I'm like, cool, maybe I got like a T-shirt or a backpack, or that'd be awesome. And there was a silence on the line as she read it, and I'm like, what? And she said, all it lists is a Jeep Wrangler. And I'm like, what? And so I came home, and sure enough, they had a prepaid return envelope, and so I had to prove that I was 18 and scan my driver's license, and I couldn't work for Osco Drugs or the vitamin company. And I mailed it all back in, and I called the number, and the lady's like, "Oh yeah, great, you're the last one to call in. We've been waiting for you." And I said, "This is my dream car, so don't mess with me, lady. What are the chances that I'm going to really win this? Because I'm really skeptical at this point. I'm thinking it's some kind of scam." And she said, "Oh no, as long as you qualify and all your paperwork comes back okay, you're 100%. You won it."
But where was this out of? Where was this company out of? Was it close to you? Obviously, you're in the greater South Bend area with Casey at the time. Is it close to you, or do you have to go to a foreign land? How do you obtain the Jeep?
It was actually like a fulfillment company that was handling the promotion. So it was Fulfillment Systems Incorporated, and I'm not exactly sure. I think they were in Minnesota.
So did you have to go to Minnesota to pick up the Jeep?
I did not. I didn't tell anybody about it because, again, I'm going to look like an idiot if I tell everybody about it and it's a scam. But so she calls me back and she said, "Okay, all your paperwork checked out. You will be getting a call from your local Jeep dealer in the next week or so." And I'm still a little skeptical, but I'm like, okay, whatever. So local Jeep dealer calls me. They're not there anymore, but Don Meadow Jeep in South Bend calls me and says, "Here's the deal. You won the base model. You won a 2000 Jeep SE, Jeep Wrangler SE.
Yeah.
Worth $15,700. They said, we don't have one on the lot. So you come in and pick your color, and it's too late in the year because this was like August. At this time, it was probably October. They said, we'll get you a 2001. It won't cost you any extra. You just pick your color, and we'll order it. Or you can come down and pick one off the lot."
Wait. So the Jeep, okay, by the way, Casey, if you're just joining us, Casey's friend Scott is on the line. They worked in radio for many years. Casey's friend Scott answers a question that Casey and I had the other day. Do you know anyone who's won some sort of grand prize giveaway? This was prompted by Casey getting all these emails from Trump saying you could win a trip to Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
And so Scott is now telling us about winning this Jeep. So the Jeep dealer didn't have the Jeep?
Not. They said we'd have to order it because it was the base model. And most of the time, they order options on the Jeeps they keep on the lot.
Sure.
So I went down and said, well, because I knew exactly what I wanted. And so I said, is there any way I could just order it? And they were like, yeah, you just pay the difference. So while the base price of what I won was $15,700, the Jeep I ordered with some options came out to $22,400.
So you had to pay the difference of a little over $7,000.
Yes.
I also love the fact that you could get a brand new Jeep in the year 2000 for $15,000 some odd and change, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Scott, how do you claim this on your taxes? Like, do you just list Jeep? Like, how do you? Because we always hear people say, "Well, I had to sell this prize that I won because I couldn't afford the tax." Like, how does that work?
Well, they send you. First of all, I had to pay sales tax at the dealer. And then the fulfillment systems company that was running the contest sent me a 1099 form.
Okay.
There you go. So you had to pay it on your taxes
Okay.
at the end of the year.
Because they considered that $15,700 worth of income that I never paid any taxes on. And the thought crossed my and my wife's mind that, we're going to have to sell this because we owe, like, I don't know what it was, $5,000, $6,000 in taxes.
Mm-hmm. And you thought you couldn't afford to pay the taxes on the prize.
Right. Luckily, the IRS will let you can't do it every year, but like once every 7 years or something, they'll let you make payments if you can't pay your taxes in one lump sum with interest, of course. And so that's what we did. And because the payment, because I owed a little bit more because I ordered a Jeep with some options, but my monthly payment was really low. So we paid the tax bill off fairly quickly.
It's fascinating. We finally know somebody who won something.
Okay,
Casey.
so Scott, this happened in 2000, and where is the Jeep now? Do you still own the Jeep?
I do not, but it had a good run. I drove it, and I drove it. I used it as a Jeep. I went in the mud. I went off-roading. I went to Silver Lake Sand Dunes up in Michigan. I loved that vehicle, and it got totaled once about 10 years ago. Somebody turned left in front of me. I had it rebuilt. I drove it some more. It had about 270,000 miles on it, and pretty much everything on it was worn out.
Yeah.
It was rusted. The interior was shredded. It leaked every fluid it held. But one night, I had it parked at my mom's house on the curb, and I was back at my house, and I got a call. It was a Sunday night, and she said, "Scott, somebody hit your Jeep. It was they came around the corner and hit your Jeep, and you better get over here." And I got over there, and a drunk driver had hit it while it was parked, and it got totaled.
Wow. Okay, so did you get insurance money for it being totaled?
I was astounded at the amount of money that the insurance paid out. It was their insurance, and I was thinking I'd like to get $4,000, but I'd really be happy with $2,000 because it was so just driven into the dirt.
Yeah.
And they gave me $10,000.
Wow. Okay. Well, before we let you go, Scott, this is one last question because I know you'll have the answer to this. You had mentioned your wife at the time. You've been divorced exactly how long now?
Jeez, Casey.
We were married 8 years, 8 months, and 24 days, but we've been divorced for about 15 years now.
How long was it? 8 years?
8 years, 8 months, and 24 days.
Sounds like it went great, Scott. Sounds like it went great. All right, Casey, take us to break.
Thank you, Scott, for the story. And it is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe. Laugh until your belly aches. Cry because you care so much. And experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
Hey folks, Scott Wilson here from Wilson Farm Market. Even in winter, we're bringing you the best in farm fresh flavors. Stop in for our fresh salad bar, hot and crispy wing bar, and a cheese selection that is second to none. Got a sweet tooth? Our homemade pies, creamy fudge, and old-fashioned candy will hit the spot. Come see us on US 31 just north of Carmel. We're open every day 9 to 6. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about fresh, local, and delicious. See you soon.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Feeling the aches and pains of everyday life slowing you down? Introducing Blue Emu, America's #1 emu oil formula for pain relief. In a recent clinical trial, 91% of users saw improvement after using Blue Emu. Whether you're working hard, playing harder, or just staying active, Blue Emu penetrates deep to relieve joint and muscle pain fast. And best of all, you won't stink. Join the 91% who felt the difference. Find Blue Emu at your local retailer or online. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Hey, Hammer and Nigel here for Window Nation. Valentine's Day is behind us, and Groundhog's Day and President's Day are in the rear view, but there's still time to take advantage of Window Nation's amazing offer. Save 60% on all window styles and pay nothing for 2 years, only at Window Nation now through the end of February to save big on some of the best windows you could buy.
To get windows that will protect your home and family for decades, get a quote on the windows that are going to stop the drafts, stop the leaks, and save you money on your utility bills every month. Save 60%, 60% on all window styles and pay nothing for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends February 28th. Schedule that free in-home consultation by calling Window Nation at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. 866-90-NATION, windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's going to take some time. Partly cloudy and 48 degrees in downtown Indy. 61 is the high today. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:33. That's what investigators are saying about the investigation into the deaths of actor Gene Hackman, his wife, and dog.
It could take up to 3 months or even possibly longer. It just depends, how busy the laboratory is. But, we're hoping it comes sooner than later so we can answer some of these questions.
Santa Fe County Sheriff Aiden Mendoza telling the Today Show this morning that he's not ruling out foul play, and he believes the toxicology report will say a lot. The star of Buffy the Vampire Slayer paying tribute to the late Michelle Trachtenberg. Sarah Michelle Gellar co-starred with Trachtenberg on that show, and Trachtenberg was found dead in her Manhattan apartment this week and shared photos of the two of them working together about 25 years ago on the set of Buffy. In her caption, Gellar said, "I'll always love you, and the hardest thing in this world is to live in it." The planets are set to align tonight in a rare celestial event. Just after dusk, Mercury will join Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Venus, and Saturn in the western sky. Saturn and Neptune will be the hardest to see because they'll be close to the horizon. Binoculars or a telescope will be needed to see Uranus and Neptune. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
Here we go with the Friday edition of your voicemails, 317-684-8444. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. You okay?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Wonderful. Look, let's just get into this for a second, shall we?
Okay. What's
Somebody
on your mind?
should have told me
What?
how involved parenting actually is.
What are you talking about?
Well, when on the man side, you only got to do about 10 seconds of actual work in terms of the baby becoming a thing.
Mhm.
And then the women have to do all the work the rest of the time.
Correct.
And you're basically in some sort of moral support system for the next 9 months.
Mhm.
Right? Let's face it. The men get off easy for the 9 months of the pregnancy, right?
Yes.
What do I have to do? I have to run to like McDonald's at 2 a.m.
Mhm.
How hard is that?
Maybe a
right?
foot rub or a back rub.
Right. It's not a thing. But then once the baby's born,
Mhm.
and you don't it doesn't get really tough. The first 6 months, provided your baby's born healthy,
Mhm.
are actually quite easy, right? You just got to keep them alive.
Yeah.
What is it really? You put them in a bouncer, put them in a bassinet at night, You feed them when they want fed. I mean, it's
change
simplistic
diapers.
Simplistic thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then,
especially for the man if the mother's nursing,
then the child gets mobile, and it's all it's like a continual Thunderdome type event, right?
Survival of the fittest.
And then, like your kid getting sick.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the parenting has to go on steroids because, what are you going to do? Your kid's 20 months old. You can't be like, you better get better fast. And so, like, every month now, my kid brings something home with her.
Right.
And then it's just...
Tell her to quit licking toys at
It's
daycare.
survive in advance. And the last day or day and a half has been survive in advance.
Is she not feeling well?
Well, she's doing better now.
Good.
I think, wife's home with her right now. But it's like, it's just a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
And then you don't get to sleep. You don't get to sleep. And look, I'm not going to call myself some sort of like amazing study in human excellence. But being able to come in here and do this on 2, maybe 3 hours sleep, and it's not even continuous sleep. It's broken up.
Right.
It's like you sleep for an hour.
Yeah.
Kid gets up. Of course, the kid can go right back to sleep after you take care of whatever necessity, whether it's food or whatever. But then I got to stare at the ceiling for another 30 minutes. And now I've entered a phase. Did you enter this phase with your kid where you don't even go back to bed because you're just going to have to get up again? Like, I know when they're sick.
Sometimes it's easier just to stay up.
It is.
Yeah.
I know when my kid is sick that an hour from now, I'm going to be back up again.
Yeah.
So even if I could go back to sleep,
right,
it's more painful to go back to sleep and have to get back up rather than just stay awake.
Yeah, and hopefully you can just take shifts then, and somebody can get some good, solid sleep for a few hours.
Well, I've told this story before, and God bless my wife. She has this incredible affliction,
right?
Where it's somebody. We should start a meal train for her or something. I don't know, a GoFundMe. Who knows? She doesn't hear things in the middle of the night.
Right? Isn't that funny how that happens?
It's an incredible affliction that she has. And
could she hear in the middle of the night before the baby was born?
It's an amazing thing. I didn't know birth did this to people.
Selective hearing.
Stop.
Well, you know what? So what's wrong with Livy? She just got a cold, a flu. What is it?
Look, she's doing much better today than she was yesterday. It was just she had congestion, a small fever, but then the kid gets grumpy.
Yeah, well,
right?
yeah, she's not feeling well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think she was just doing it to get out of her homework that we have her do each day. And I think she decided to
You think that's
milk it for a couple days.
manipulation's already happening?
Anyway, the point of all this is you people have no idea the level of excellence that I perform at to get 2 or 3 hours of sleep and then come in here and do this radio show to the level which I do each day. I just want to point that out.
Yeah. Well, I hope you never have to go through anything serious.
No,
on the medical front, because that's a whole nother level of mental and emotional drain.
Yeah, and obviously we're very, very fortunate. I'm just kidding and having fun. We are very fortunate that she has been, other than the things that all little children get, she's had nothing worse than that. And we're very blessed. And the thing about parenting is every time your kid gets sick, and you did it, you were a kid, you remember it, you got sick all the time. But then everything's like, oh my gosh, is this going to be some huge, hey rube sort of thing? And then like 2 days later, you're like, well, I kind of overreacted on that.
She's fine. Actually, I think my first memory as a child was throwing up on my mom.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you?
2, 3, 4. I mean, I was young. I don't know.
Well, you really narrowed it down.
Well,
then. Maybe
I was about
Could've
your
been
daughter's
3.
age. I just remember she was picking me up and carrying me into the house.
And you let it fly.
Bleh, there it was. Yeah. So she'll be okay. She's got good people looking after her.
I was told she's doing very well today, and then so she was ill just long enough to keep me up all night, and now it's a miracle.
Weekend's on, and you're gonna be fine.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
We've got a phone call. This one is about, you guessed it, property taxes.
You guys are doing such a wonderful job on the property taxes, getting it to the forefront and letting the guys in the big house there in Indiana know that we're kind of upset and frustrated about this, and we'd like to, save a little money here and there and stop taxing us to death. But on another note, you're doing a great job there, and I don't want to talk about that because everybody's been talking about it. and I'm glad it's happening, and we're doing stuff.
Yeah, we're doing stuff. We're going to have a big property tax reform rally Monday, March 17th, 1 p.m. at the State House, in the State House. We're inviting you to show up and wear green.
Can you believe it's the last day of February already?
Mm-hmm.
We are 1/6 of the way through the year.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Another phone call, this one about the same thing, property taxes.
Hey, this is Tom from the People's Republic of Lake County. I'm excited about the property tax rally. I'm coming down. I just had one question. What kind of Orwellian state do we have where we need a permit to protest our property taxes?
Well, let's talk about that for a second. So in the State House, and this is understandable, right? Because they've got to, for security measures, et cetera, they got to know. They can't have 5 people having the same event at the same time. That would be just, especially if it's some large scale thing like we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's understandable. There was no cost involved. You just got to go in and make sure that the area is available. And I didn't have to do it. Somebody else did it. So it could have been some huge thing. I don't know, but I think it was a pretty straightforward professional process. So I don't have a problem with that. But Tony made a good point this morning. He was talking about property taxes, and he was basically saying, it's like, think about this. We're a Republican supermajority state.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Republican governor,
Mm-hmm.
and the radio show has to have some gigantic property tax rally at the State House to try to help people afford to stay in their homes.
Wait, back up.
Yeah, he said something nice about us.
He was talking about us?
May have suffered a head injury this morning.
Wow.
We don't know. I mean, somebody should check
Well,
on him.
I know yesterday he texted me and he said, what was the big announcement? And I said, thanks for listening.
No, he is not listening.
And then
No.
I told him what it was, and he said smart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I mean, he makes a good point. Like, I mean, take us out of the equation. Republican supermajority is supposed to be the party of low taxes and limited government. And we've got to go have this rally to try to
Let them know we're serious.
Boot up their ass to get them to go, hey, people would like to be able to afford to stay in their homes. Like, that's gross that we were even having to go to this.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. So anyway, good. That guy is coming from Lake County. Good on him.
Okay, we've got time for one more phone call. Kevin, can we skip forward to the one called Indiana Doge? Do you see it? Yeah.
Hey, Rob and Casey. I was listening to your program this morning, and Rob, your idea of coming up with a Doge experiment for Indiana is a great one. And it's funny, I opened the Sunday paper that's given to me by my neighbor because I would never buy it. But anyway, I'm reading, the funding issue looms for Dolly Parton books. Okay, Indiana legislatures may not restore money for this program. Well, that's funny because I know about this program, and I knew about it when it was being sent to my nieces and nephews and my grandson. Well, let me tell you, these books end up in the trash. You may have a handful of kids that find them fun, but I find that it's a very expensive $1 billion benefit that's going $1.6 million for the program, $2.5 million for 2024-2025 to help expand the Imagination Library. Well, if Dolly Parton has that kind of money, and she's so wealthy, why is she even charging any states to get this out? Why does she charge anything if she has the kind of money to get this going? My feeling is that money, or no money, but just a program that motivates parents to get their butts off their couch and go in and take their kids to the library. Get the books into the local libraries that we're paying taxes for to keep them open as it is. Or have her donate these to the schools, to every elementary school, and they can check them out for free. I'm sick and tired of seeing these kinds of things going on in our state, that they act like it makes me feel good to think that we're sending kids books that are free. And many of them really are not being read anyway, or the parents don't take time to sit down with their kids as it is. And I think it's something that, again, it's a wasteful thing that makes Democrats feel good that they're doing something. And I know that Braun looked at this as being an expenditure we don't need.
He did. And then he asked his wife, First Lady Maureen Braun, to identify some funding opportunities for that library from the private sector.
Yeah, and I mean, that's like $6 million you saved over 2 years. Think about how many things are out there
Mhm.
like that. That's when we say we'd find that $1 billion.
Right.
I think within a month, it
Yeah.
would be no problem. I mean, it's everywhere, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
And well, we got to get to Hammer. Let's bring Hammer in, and then maybe we'll revisit this next hour.
It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show, broadcasting live at Woodland Bowl, starting at 3. It's Red, White, and Bowl, presented by Jack Daniels. It's Beer Sample Friday. Let's have a day.
Today, we meet Sarah.
Oh, hi. Welcome to the local Dell.
Sarah owns a small business, just like you.
Oh, yeah. And I could always use more customers.
Sarah knows how frustrating it can be when customers can't find you online. Wrong phone numbers, outdated listings, or bad reviews holding you back.
Ugh, I need it to be easier for people to find me. Help.
Visit snapshotmybusiness.com and you can get a free comprehensive report of your online storefront. We'll check everything: your business listings, online reviews, social media posts, and even how your website ranks on search engines.
Wait, I can get a free snapshot report of all that?
That's right. The Snapshot Report shows you what needs fixed to attract more customers and grow your business.
Snapshotmybusiness.com.
Yep, it's easy. Just log on to snapshotmybusiness.com today and see how your business stacks up. Snapshotmybusiness.com. Your path to more business.
I'll say this. There are no entries in the Hoops Fan Hall of Fame who didn't show up to the game. Yes, you in the back.
Professor, March Madness is coming to Indianapolis. Are we ready?
You prepared to bring the fire? Give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. The NCAA Sweet 16 and Elite 8, March 28th and 30th in Indianapolis. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MVB tickets. Class dismissed.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-822-1598. 800-822-1598. 800-822-1598.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group. You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Kendall and Casey.
I'm a young, up-and-coming professional. We are people who want to work. We want to engage. We don't want to be freeloaders. And yet, it makes it very hard for young people to actually do that.
Kendall and Casey, 9 till noon on 93 WIBC.
There he is from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel Show, Jason Hammer in the studio. Hello.
It is bowling night on the Hammer and Nigel Show. Red, White, and Bowl, presented by Jack Daniels. It's a little fundraiser we're doing to help veterans in Indianapolis. We're doing a whole show, whole shebang, live this afternoon, starting at 3 at Woodland Bowl. So even if you don't have tickets to the event, because you have to have tickets to get into the actual bowling part, you can come by and tailgate and hang out, and we'll treat this like a college game day, right?
Yeah, and I guess we can say this.
Pretty
Nigel
fun.
just texted us. He plans on drinking so much that he's taking an Uber to work today.
Yes.
I thought he was done drinking.
Well, that's what he tells us
Special
when his
occasions.
wife's in town. His wife's out of town right now. So, you know, when the lovely Mrs. Nige is out of town, that's when we get real Nige.
So this is the sort of event you're going to be in for. Now, I'm going to be there, by the way.
Yes.
I won a ticket at our Super Bowl bet.
You did.
I had the Eagles and you had the Chiefs, and the winner had to buy a spot in the thing, and so I'll be there to.
You'll
to
be
help
in
you
our
guys.
lane?
Yeah, absolutely. I hope I'm next to the Rokita people. That'll be great. But yes, he's planning on having such a good time that he's Ubering.
I will say this. Last year, we had a real good time.
good.
It to quote Ron Burgundy, it got out of hand fast last year. Like, so we do the show, right? And the event doesn't even start until our show is over.
Yeah.
So we're tailgating throughout the show, 3 to 6. You know, we're doing the show, but people are coming by. They're buying beers and shots. And then the event starts, and that goes for a couple of hours. And there's the pizza buffet, and Jack Daniels is there, and it's going to be such a good time tonight for a great cause.
Picture it like in Dumb and Dumber. My friend and I would like to buy you guys a round of beers.
If that is Seabass over there.
Sounds like Nigel's being responsible.
You know what? He is. So good for him. And boy, I cannot wait to see all you folks up there today. And again, seriously, if you don't have a ticket to bowl, just come by and tailgate with us and have some beers. We'll talk some trash, tell a few dirty jokes, make fun of some media members, and let's go.
Can we point out Joe Hogsett? Look, I don't notice people's appearances.
Of course
not.
You told me to look at this. And you are right, Casey. You were alarmed at... So Kevin Gregory, friend of the Hammer and Nigel show, right?
He came on with us back when we were partnered with Channel 6 all the time.
Yeah. And a legendary newscaster. His dad was obviously legendary weather forecaster.
Bob Gregory. Oh, yeah.
Bob Gregory, Kevin Gregory. Great guys, awesome dudes. You know, sort of the staple of Indianapolis media for... they've been 50, 60 years at this point, right? So he's retiring. Kevin Gregory is retiring.
Which makes me feel really old because I remember when his old man retired and young whippersnapper Kevin was taking over.
They do have on the WRTV website, there's like some collage of him. And he started when he was, I don't know, he looks like he's like 18 years old in this photo. And he's got just the full head of jet black hair. And
he began in 1989.
Well, that was 35 years ago. So anyway, so he's retiring. They have some big thing for him. And Hogsett came to declare it Kevin Gregory Day, which is fine, wonderful, staple of the city, no problem with that.
Yeah.
But Casey goes, did you see Hogsett? He looks like he just rolled out of bed.
Do you have it brought up on your
I
computer?
do. Look at this. Like you can.
Hold on, I'm coming over.
Yeah, you can see it right here. Hammer's going to pop in. If you hit play, you can actually see. It's the back of his head. He looks like he's got bedhead there, Hammer. He does, doesn't he? Does he not look like he's got bedhead?
He just rolled out of bed, went into the TV station to declare it Kevin Gregory Day.
Is there a bar anywhere in there? Do they got a little wet bar in there, like hotels?
I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, Mr. Mayor, you missed a giant spot. I mean, it's one thing like hair out of place or, whatever. But Mr. Mayor, you like your hair is sticking up in the back.
Dude, he's got the hair back there. So, I'm starting to get a little monkey's butt brewing in my end. I might have to call some of Rob's people.
Well, yes, we grow hair, Andy. We'll definitely take care of you. But, yeah, I mean, he's got to have a guy, right? There's going to be a guy that's like, you can't get out of this.
There's no way there's a guy. If there's a guy, you don't let that dude go up there allegedly overserved and say some of these things that he did. Like, remember when he was out at that one park? I'm running from something.
I ain't running for nothing. I'm running from something.
Face all red. Like, I work with Nigel every day. I know when somebody has got a real red face and they're a little louder than normal, they've probably been overserved.
You'll see him tonight at Woodland Bowl.
You're going to see it tonight.
Yeah, and again, Kevin Gregory's a great dude and all that. We're not anyway. It's just, dude, you're showing up to an event. It's a TV station. Is that a TV station?
Right.
Shouldn't somebody from the TV have been nicely like, Mr. Mayor, before you go on camera, let me go.
No, I have no idea what the relationship is between Kevin Gregory and Hogsett, but can you imagine? He's like, oh man, that's who you brought in to declare.
Hogsett goes over to who's their anchor? Mark Mullins. Hey, Mark! It's like the Sahara over here. Where can I get a drink?
It's 6 a.m. Bar's open.
Can we also point out?
I'm running from something.
We still have no idea where this guy was during the riots.
No.
And Phil Sanchez asked him about that on a debate, and his staff got super angry about it.
Yeah, and then remember, Shreve just let him not answer the question and then went on to something about the dog pound.
Right. Like Jefferson Shreve had every opportunity to beat this dude.
Yeah.
There's never been a more vulnerable, high-ranking Democrat in Marion County than that guy. And Shreve comes out there with a gun grabber plan, lets him off the hook because he puts all of his faith in some of these advisors that were probably older than George Burns the time that he died.
I mean, Phil teed it up for him, and what Shreve should have said, and this would have made statewide headlines. Okay, Otis. Now what he's not going to tell you is, and then filled in the blank where everybody knows where this guy was during the riots.
It should have been every answer, no matter what they ask you. Mr. Shreve, what is 2 + 2? See, I can answer this, and I would be in the office when I answer this, unlike some people who go missing during the biggest crisis.
Oh, no.
Like, tie every single thing into him running, but he was such a chicken, you know what.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, I was upset with the district that he won for the House race, too, because I was so bitter at what happened in my city. I live here, Indianapolis, that you let Joe off the hook.
What are we doing this afternoon at the bowling event? Who are we talking
to?
Clearly.
A lot of drinking.
I'm not running from nothing. I'm on the radio.
Man, come by, hang out with us, have a real good time. Let's get loose. It's Beer Sample Friday, high-fiving with Jack Daniels this afternoon.
Sounds good, Hammer. Thank you. It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
You love spring and indies, so don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Mike did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Way better than paint, backed by a 25-year warranty. Right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The thing about the Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Why do so many foundation companies want half your money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
Thinning hair? This year, grow your hair back like I did. Call 317-522-2995 or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, how the high wind gusts are supposed to be getting into Indiana today, how Indiana's Governor Mike Braun says he's cutting unemployment fraud, and the family of a World War II veteran gets some closure. Those stories and much more headed your way after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it's now 11 o'clock.
English is American. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News, and that's going to be official federal policy. President Trump plans to sign an executive order making English the official language of the United States.
It would be the first time the U.S. has ever had a national language. The Wall Street Journal reports a summary of the order, says the goal is to promote unity, establish efficiency in the government, and provide a pathway to civic engagement. The order would also remove a federal mandate from President Bill Clinton requiring agencies and federal funding recipients to provide language assistance to those who don't speak English. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
President welcomes Ukraine's President Zelensky to the White House this hour to talk about and sign, if all goes according to plan, an agreement to share Ukraine's mineral resources. Zelensky has said he wants U.S. security guarantees to stand up to Russia. Trump said Wednesday, though, he won't go very far with that, and that reassurance has to come from Europe. Investigators looking into the cause of death for actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy say there are no signs of external injuries, forced entry, or a gas leak.
The bodies of 95-year-old Gene Hackman and his 65-year-old wife, Betsy Arakawa, were first discovered by workers who were visiting the property and called 911. According to an affidavit filed by the sheriff's office, the first deputies on scene discovered Hackman's body in a mudroom showing signs of having fallen suddenly, and his wife in a bathroom showing similar signs of a sudden fall. One of the couple's dogs was dead in that same bathroom, in a closet, according to the affidavit, although the sheriff later called it a kennel. There were no obvious signs of carbon monoxide or gas poisoning, and the bodies were apparently partly mummified, having lain undiscovered for days, possibly weeks.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt. Consumer prices are 2.5% higher than a year ago, according to the Commerce Department, and monthly consumer spending fell the most in 4 years. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Windy, but not wet, at least for today. You've got a 50-degree day right now in the Circle City under a partly cloudy sky. Nothing on radar. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. A wind advisory, though, is in effect with gusts reaching more than 30 miles an hour at times. Then Indiana might get some rough weather after today.
Tuesday, that we could have a strong storm system moving through the plain states, and that could bring some severe weather, strong thunderstorms to the Ohio Valley.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says it's best if you secure any items you have outside. The wind advisory today lasts until 7 o'clock. 2 executive orders have been signed by Indiana Governor Mike Braun to combat unemployment fraud.
So we're going to go through the whole process, clean up the methodology, individualize it.
He says the orders will utilize data cross-checking tools to detect fraud and increase work search requirements for those receiving unemployment benefits. A World War II soldier's remains found after he was killed by machine gun fire. Jake McDaniel reports.
Charles Smalley was last seen fighting to push back German forces on a mountain between Massena and La Coucoude, where he was killed in southern France when he was only 19. His remains were not identified until scientists used DNA testing as well as forensic analysis, and that's when they found them buried near Montélimar, France. And soon, Smalley's remains will be returned to Indiana, where he'll receive a proper burial in Chesterton. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
If you need to get gas today, Gas Buddy says the statewide average is $2.81 a gallon, which is down 12 cents from this time last week. One station in Indianapolis selling it for $2.55. The Indiana Hoosier men's basketball team is on the West Coast. They face the Washington Huskies Saturday night at 6, and pregame coverage starts at 5 right here on 93 WIBC. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 11:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem anymore affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, Casey.
Yeah?
The timing on this is certainly very helpful.
You're talking about this new article that was published in the Indiana Capital Chronicle, and guess what it's about? Property taxes.
This is really interesting. This actually does give the governor, Mike Braun, quite a bit of firepower if he were to choose to use it heading into, we had mentioned earlier in the program, they have now scheduled the gutted Senate Bill 1 for a hearing in Ways and Means. It will be March the 5th. That's Wednesday. It'll be at 1:30 in room 404. Public testimony, again, will be allowed. So if you want to come sit with, no doubt, some mayor that's going to spin some sob story about a lack of police or fire or street lights, and you want to go laugh at them, and you can get up in front of the committee and say how ridiculous all these people are, you can do that at public testimony. Welcome, 1:30 on March the 5th. But this article is talking about the enhanced burden homeowners have taken on in property taxes since 2021.
Yeah, officials, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, which is the year that Braun has proposed resetting your property tax bill to.
Yeah. So officials, this is from Lake County, they say that homeowners are bearing an unfair share of property taxes. And they said from 2019 to 2024, commercial property values in Lake County increased by 12%. But homeowner property values surged 50%.
Okay, so the argument in Braun's property tax reset is you've been screwed by something you had nothing to do with, which is inflation, and how the housing market was dramatically impacted as it relates to paying property taxes, certainly in a negative fashion. And Braun's plan is the compromise. There's nothing radical about Braun's plan. Braun's plan is actually a perfect compromise, if one such thing existed, between people like us who believe you should be out of the property tax game altogether and the school and local government people who believe it should go up infinitely forever and ever. Amen. And that was the compromise, to say, look, there's all this new construction that's happened over the past 4 or 5 years. There's all this commercial growth that's come online the past 4 or 5 years. There's all these apartment complexes. They got a Soviet block-style apartment on every corner in Noblesville, Casey. We won't touch any of that. And we won't take away anybody paying property taxes. What we're going to say is we will reset for people who had a home in 2021, a home that existed in 2021. If that home was had a homestead credit, means if somebody was living in that house as their primary residence, paying property taxes on accordingly, then we're going to reset that bill to 2021. It's like the bare minimum thing you could do to help people. And we kind of said that seems pretty fair. And this study that has come out now talks about the burden that homes, single-family homes, are bearing. The people who pay 1%, that's the property tax cap in the state of Indiana. You pay 1% of your assessed value. Now, of course, the dirty trick is the assessed value goes up every year.
Yeah.
Your taxes go up every year. So all you're capped on is the percentage that it goes up related to that assessed value. So in 2021, according to this study, you can see it all at by the way, this was prepared by the Association of Indiana Counties, did this study. You can see it all at Indiana Capital Chronicle. They have a big article about this. In 2021, single-family homes, the 1% people, made up 45.6% of the property taxes that were paid. So, for example, commercial paid 17.1%, industrial 7.5%, commercial 17.7%, industrial 7.5%, personal property, which is the stuff in the buildings, et cetera, 17.1%, agriculture 6.5%, apartments 4.8%. But the number we're focusing on here is 45.6% of the property taxes paid came from you, the single-family home owner. That came out to, by the way, about $3.6 billion. Okay, $3.68 billion, almost $3.7 billion in 2021. If you fast forward to what you expect people to pay in 2026, so in a 5-year time span, you will see single-family homeowners paying now 51% of the total property taxes paid, or $5.1 billion. So in 5 years' time, you will have seen the percentage go up 4.5%, and that total rises $1.5 billion, which is basically what Braun is trying to do, is reset that only to where we were in 2021. Get everything back to normal and where it was in 2021, and everybody goes forward and everybody works together and everybody gets to keep all the new stuff that's come online. Commercial pays what it paid before. Apartments pay what they paid before. Rentals pay what they paid before. Let's just help the regular people out and square it back with 2021. And these senators stuck a giant middle finger in this governor's face and in your face and said, shut up and pay.
The interesting thing about this graph is that it shows in 2021 how the residential numbers that you just talked about and how they raise up in by 26. Conversely, you have the industrial and commercial numbers go down.
Yeah. And the personal property tax also has gone down. So this is the thing that many people have said, and they're starting to catch on to it. Over the past several years, the General Assembly has cut taxes for their big business buddies. The General Assembly has made sure over the past several years that their big business buddies were taken care of. Why? Because they donate to campaigns. You've got nothing, but you'll see very clearly on this graph that in 2026, commercial developments will pay 15.3% of the freight. That's down from 17.7% that they were paying in 2021. And by the way, when the state, and this is really important because everything gets lost to history, when the state entered into the property tax cap system in 2008, and then it became a part of the Constitution in 2010, they envisioned the balance being 50-50 between residential and commercial. They envisioned a thriving community having commercial developments paying 50% of the freight and the residential paying 50% of the freight. As you can clearly see with this, it's not anywhere close to that.
No, it's not going to be equitable.
It's not anywhere close to that. So this is a real piece of ammunition for the governor going forward to go to these lawmakers. That's assuming that they're on the level people who actually care about truth and wanting to do what's right. But it's right here in black and white of the very increase that he's talking about. And all he's trying to do is get that reset to where it was in 2021.
So the Lake County financial director, he argues that the tax burdens, they're shifting from commercial properties to residential properties. And this is due to the assessment growth rates.
Right. You're not. See, and again, this is what's so maddening about this. If you're a person who's lived in your home, the same home, the past 5 years, you've gotten nothing out of this. You haven't monetized your house. You haven't made a penny. Yeah, your property taxes are double in some cases, or triple. We've read the emails, right? Like we've read the assessments. There's not any doubt that this is happening. And so if you're a person who has lived in your home for the past 5 years, you have seen your property taxes double or triple. You've made $0 off of it. And did your government get 2 or 3 times better?
You could almost argue it's gone the opposite way.
And why is it that government never has to cut? Why is it government never has to make do? That has not been a part of this conversation in the Senate. Not one moment was that a part of the conversation. I think Garton asked the county guy a little bit about it. I think Garton asked the mayor of Carmel and Terre Haute briefly about it. But other than that, in those debates, I watched them. I watched them unfold. At no point when the Senate was voting on this as a collective was that a part of the conversation. Why is it we have to make it work?
Yeah.
Why is it
you have to tighten your belt.
Yeah, why is it that when we get property tax increases, for some people we've laid them out for you, $1,000, $1,500 annually. Well, you better just figure that out. Why doesn't the local government ever have to just figure it out?
Yeah. What was that article? I texted you last night. It was late last night. I'm sure you were already long in bed. It was from CBS News, and it said Americans say income's not keeping up with inflation.
No kidding.
Right. That was a, well, duh moment. But that's the thing. Your income hasn't been keeping up with inflation. However, you've had to make it work, haven't you?
So here's the conversation. We're going to have J.D. Prescott on, who's on Ways and Means. He's going to be with us on Monday. And JD and I were texting back and forth about this last night. I don't think he'd mind me revealing this. I kind of want to go this time because it's at 1:30 in the afternoon, so I'd be able to get over there.
Yeah.
But the problem is it becomes a zoo the moment I walk in the room. And I kind of want to testify, but then it'll just be an hour of me and these guys going back and forth.
No, you should totally do it.
Yeah, but I don't want to disrupt. If they got something good going on over there, I don't want it to turn into a circus and me to disrupt the whole thing because it'll hijack the whole thing. The whole thing will become Rob Kendall went over there and got into it with these lawmakers versus if they've got positive momentum. This is the struggle of being me, Casey.
Yeah, but I think our listeners would like to hear you get into it with the lawmakers. Do it for the show, Rob.
We'll ask JD on Monday what he thinks.
Yeah, ask him if he thinks that.
Because he's on the committee. I don't want to do it.
What if nobody else shows up to testify?
Well, those local government people are going to come with some sob story.
But look, if no taxpayers show up.
Either they're going to buy that bull crap or they not. And they're not actually buying it. Either they're going to placate, let me rephrase that. Either they're going to placate those lies or those misleading statements or that bull crap, or they're not. There's nothing I'm going to say that's going to, what am I going to do after Stu Finkham talks? Am I going to get up there and go, You don't believe this? Her and the council president can't even keep the story straight. What am I going to read? I think you only got 3 minutes when you testified. Then they get to ask you questions.
Mm-hmm.
What am I even going to go with in 3 minutes? I can't even scratch the surface in 3 minutes.
Who was it? Was it Baldwin who said you don't know how this is done? Do you remember? Do you remember the quote?
I've got that email. If you can filibuster here for just a second.
I think he was responding to a constituent, and I even posted on X about it because he said something along the lines of, "You don't know how this is done, or you don't know what it's taken to get to this point." I think that's what he said. You don't know what it's taken.
Wasn't that a song? You don't know how it feels. Wasn't that a song? Right, Kevin? You don't know how... That's Tom Petty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't know how it feels?
Yeah.
It's Tom Petty, right?
So
I'm trying to find this. Yes, because we have that... I have that email that or correspondence.
So I think you should go. I think you should go and testify
here it
because
is.
they think that you don't understand.
Yeah, here it is.
So go prove that you do.
Very good. Kev, can you get the hate mail? This was an actual email or electronic correspondence between Scott Baldwin, who makes money or runs a company that makes money. You would assume
Envoy Construction,
his employment
$2 billion company. He's the CEO.
Right.
of.
You would assume his employment is somehow tied to continuing to have these jobs. That this company, Envoy Construction Management, makes a huge amount of their money off of local government construction projects, which are funded in many cases primarily with property taxes.
Right.
He voted to screw you and protect these local government people. And then when he got the business from people on voting to screw you, he broke. Should I read it? Should we do a dramatic reading? It's been a while.
Yeah.
This is a couple weeks ago.
It's Friday.
Yeah. All
Let
right.
it
Very
rip.
good. This was from Senator Scott Baldwin. As usual, major context missing. Clickbaiting. Driving sensationalism without facts in the name of content. It seems the truth doesn't matter. I'm happy to chat by phone about my efforts to get, quote, some tax reform passed in a unique environment. But I'm not playing the wordsmith games with Rob Kendall. Don't make decisions based upon what you hear from this guy who knows very little.
There it is.
About how our tax system works.
Yeah.
And knows nothing about me or the major efforts it took to get us to at least this stage in reform. It is easy to simplify this when one pays little attention to the details and lacks a desire to understand. Again, happy to chat by phone.
Yes.
So he said, I do. He
said you know very little and you don't know the major efforts.
And he said I knew very little about him, which is why I set out to learn about him.
Wow.
And that's when we uncovered that his company he runs makes all this money off
Open
the
that door.
local government. So I did. I took what is the corrective action? You know, what are the 3 steps?
Apologize, admit the mistake, right?
Yeah. So I admitted I did not know enough about Scott Baldwin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Right.
And then I took the corrective, which was to
corrective
learn.
action.
And
Right.
what I found was his company that he runs makes a gajillion dollars off
$2 billion.
off of projects funded by property taxes.
Yeah,
So
no,
I did the things.
I think you should go. Prove that you know more than very little and that you do know the major efforts. Okay?
Yeah. And I don't know. We'll ask JD. I don't want to disrupt the process. I do want to get the property tax reform done, and we'll ask him. He's an expert. He's on the
he'll
he's on
let
the
you know
committee.
if that would be beneficial
Sure.
or not. If he says no, don't go. If he says, yeah, why not? You should totally go.
Can you believe that? That is an actual correspondence with a sitting state senator in Indiana.
Yes, I can believe it.
That's a response he gave to a constituent. And then the guy...
Clickbait.
He knows nothing. He knows nothing.
Okay, so there's a movement happening today that we have to talk about. Okay?
Oh, no.
All right, that's coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
In purgatory, tortured souls lie trapped somewhere between heaven and you know where. This is where we find ourselves, trapped somewhere between winter and spring, tortured by strange weather patterns.
As the weather worsens,
Cold, snow, and ice.
these temperatures,
Then thaw, rain, and flood. Let us be your guide through all stages of
spring,
winter, your severe winter,
spring,
and spring weather station, 93 WIBC.
Dents happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Community Health Network cares for your heart health. From heart scans and vascular screenings to complex heart procedures, you can count on our expert team for the highest quality cardiovascular care, when and where you need it. Your path to a healthy heart starts with knowing your risk. Schedule a heart scan or vascular screening today. Visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care. Simply delivered.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always comes in handy. Whether you're picking up something for your pickup truck or a power tool for your project, at Harbor Freight, your dollar always goes further. And these days, when everything seems to cost more, you can take pride in knowing that you get hard-working tools at hard-working prices. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Hey guys, it's Rob. You know, we're almost done with February. That means March, and March means spring, and spring means getting your lawn in tip-top shape. If you're looking around going, woo, boy, we've had some rough winter weather, and my yard is in need of an overhaul, call my friends from Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. I did. Sean from Save a Tree came out to my house on Monday, and boy, I'll tell you what, he was just great. Took a look around the property, did some evaluations, and came up with a plan to make my lawn the envy of the neighborhood this spring and summer. Get a hold of the guys at Save a Tree for your free evaluation. Find them online at saveatree.com. That's SAVATREE.com. That's SAVATREE.com. Or dial pound 250 on your smart device and say the keyword Save a Tree. Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Tell them Rob sent you.
The look on your face. What is going on? What? Is it in my email?
No. This is like breaking news.
Okay. What?
We're talking about property taxes. I had no idea. This is like literally just coming out, hitting the presses. I don't know where he said this at, but Hannah Adamson, she works for Fox 59, CBS 4 here in Indianapolis. So this is like a legit person.
Yeah. Is this a tweet?
This is, yes, at Hannah_Adamson. At Hannah_Adamson, if you'd like to see this. This is the greatest.
I'm looking it up.
This is the greatest thing I've ever heard, and I'm like, we've always reserved "I will always love you" for Trump.
Yeah,
but after this, I think I might be in love with Braun. I mean, I might always love Braun.
Yeah. What did he do?
I'm gonna just Kev.
I mean, I was always on the Braun Beckwith train.
We got to decide whether we give Braun this honor after I read you this quote. I got to find out where he said this at. I have no reason to believe this woman made this up. She's a legitimate reporter. whether we're going to give Braun Whitney or Eddie Money did I Think I'm in Love, which is also a cool song.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, Kev, can you find Eddie Money's I Think I'm in Love?
Yeah,
and then
we'll
I'll
go for
play it. And then maybe we just like play a little of Eddie Money's I Think I'm in Love. Maybe Kev could find it right to the cue there. But I don't need any music for this. I'm just going to read. I've got to find out where he said this at. This is the most awesome thing. And I never thought I would hear this come from the governor of the state of Indiana. So, breaking.
Oh, I see it.
You see it?
Oh, I see it.
All right. Breaking. At Gov Braun on the Indiana Senate's handling of SB 1. Quote, I was disappointed in that they were listening too much to lobbyists that represent local governments and school districts.
Mm-hmm.
My man.
Wow.
From the governor of the state of Indiana. My man.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this happened in Anderson. He was meeting with constituents. They're doing like a roundtable discussion there. And it was all about his freedom and opportunity agenda. And they talked property tax reform, workforce, and also public safety.
So the guy who sent this to me, by the way, is the guy who, if Braun took me up on the Indiana Doge, would be my top lieutenant. Sent this to me.
Right. So he's looking out.
Give you the sort of people I would be hiring. He's the guy who sent this to me.
I was disappointed in that they were listening too much to lobbyists that represent local governments and school districts. The question must have been, what was your reaction to the gutting of SB 1?
I mean, that is walking right up to the line of just taking a dump on Scott Baldwin's lawn and walking away and going, somebody ought to clean that up. That is awesome. Good on you, Braun. All right, so now the question is, Case, what do we get? I mean, that's strong. And you know, we've never given anybody else I Will Always Love You. So should we give
I Think I'm in Love?
Braun's, what do you want to do?
Yeah, we have to keep I Will Always Love You for Trump.
Yeah.
I think you're right with that. And
that's amazing that he said that.
He also said we're going to try to find the sweet spot that keeps school districts / local governments healthy, but respects the taxpayers.
Yeah. That's
maybe we need respect from Aretha Franklin.
Great. That's just awesome. Tony plays music on his show, right? Does he still do that? Doesn't he play songs?
He does on Thursdays.
Should we just
It's sponsored. That's why he's allowed to do that.
People keep asking me, what does my shirt say? I've worn the shirt several times on this show. People in the YouTube chat, which you can watch the show, it says, friends don't let friends vote for bad Republicans. Casey will remember I wore this shirt when I went over to the convention, the Republican convention.
When you went to go get your credentials.
Yeah, they were very happy to see me over there when I was wearing my friends don't let friends vote for bad Republicans shirt.
That's true. I took your picture.
That's right. Yes. Just to show proof that I made it out of there in one piece in case I was hijacked on my way to or fro any event. All right, so is that what we're doing? We're doing Eddie Money. Is this the new Braun theme song?
I think so.
All right, Kev, do you want to do it from the beginning? What do we?
I don't know.
Yeah, I got it at the beginning.
Okay, what do I just cue it up here? Casey, you want to talk? You want to talk up the ramp on this?
I could give it a shot.
Give it a shot. All right, here we go.
Governor Braun said, and I quote, I was disappointed in that they were listening too much to lobbyists that represent local governments and school districts. What do you think of that?
It's great.
Yeah.
This is the new Braun theme song.
You love
Let's
it.
just let it roll for a little bit.
93 WIBC.
Something's got a hold on me now. It's a feeling, burning like a love on fire. Hold me tight, babe. Don't leave me by myself tonight.
Here we go. Are you ready, Case?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, Governor Braun.
I think I'm in love.
You do it. Bring him the heat.
All right, that's the new Braun theme song.
Oh, boy. Property tax reform rally Monday, March 17th, 1 p.m. at the State House.
Good
Wear
on
green.
him.
Yeah.
Hot day.
It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
It is supposed to cool down. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Here's a look at upcoming temperatures in Indiana.
Those colder temperatures arrive on Saturday with a high near 35 and Sunday with a high near 39.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service says nearly the entire state is under a high wind advisory until 7 tonight. And economic blackouts going on now where Americans are being told to boycott major companies for at least the next 24 hours. This is how some Hoosiers feel about it.
In theory, it's a good idea, but in practice, I don't know how effective that's going to be because the average person needs to shop at Walmart and Target, right? Because it's cheaper.
I think it's going to be challenging because I feel like they have really good deals.
Hollywood's top movies will be honored at the Academy Awards this weekend. More on that coming up at noon. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Today, we meet Sarah.
Oh, hi. Welcome to the local Dell.
Sarah owns a small business, just like you.
Oh, yeah. And I could always use more customers.
Sarah knows how frustrating it can be when customers can't find you online. Wrong phone numbers, outdated listings, or bad reviews holding you back.
Ugh, I need it to be easier for people to find me. Help.
Visit snapshotmybusiness.com and you can get a free comprehensive report of your online storefront. We'll check everything. Your business listings, online reviews, social media posts, and even how your website ranks on search engines.
Wait, I can get a free snapshot report of all that?
That's right. The Snapshot Report shows you what needs fixed to attract more customers and grow your business.
Snapshotmybusiness.com.
Yep, it's easy. Just log on to snapshotmybusiness.com today and see how your business stacks up. Snapshotmybusiness.com. Your path to more business.
Hey guys, you know it's Friday. That means Sunday here in 2 days. And this Sunday, if you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home or just looking for something different in your life, check out Life Church. Life Church has had such a great impact on my life and my family's life over the years. Many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church. They'd love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family. Life Church makes it so simple for you with campuses, 4 of them, all across central Indiana. Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. They've also got amazing online services as well. You can learn more about everything at lifechurchin.com. And oh yeah, while you're there, check out the opportunities they've got for your kids this spring and summer, including Vacation Bible School. lifechurchin.com.
I'll say this. There are no entries in the Hoops Fan Hall of Fame who didn't show up to the game. Yes, you in the back.
Professor, March Madness is coming to Indianapolis. Are we ready?
You prepared to bring the fire? Give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. The NCAA Sweet 16 and Elite 8, March 28th and 30th in Indianapolis. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MVB tickets. Class dismissed.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
I hope we get to use Braun's new theme song a lot.
I'm floored he said that, and that is amazing. If you missed last segment, a couple of pieces of breaking news. One, the governor came out and said the thing that everybody knows. So he was in Anderson. Is that where he was?
Yeah.
So according to Hannah Adamson of CBS 4 and Fox 59, he said, quote, so they're talking about obviously about the property tax bill. I was disappointed in that they were listening too much to lobbyists that represent local governments and school districts.
And he's talking about the Senate.
Yeah.
Their handling of SB 1.
And that is as close. I never envisioned you would get that close to him basically saying Scott Baldwin sided with the people that he does business with over you. And people like Brett Clark sided with the people that they do business with over you. And that's as close as I'm so impressed by that. Good on him. And I got to tell you, man, a lot of people didn't believe Braun was going to get in a fight on this, and he's doing the thing. So good on him. Good on him.
Did you hear that there is a 24-hour economic blackout that is scheduled today? This is by group of liberals.
It's a what?
Yeah. It's a protest against corporate greed, and it's a desire to roll back DEI efforts, and also it's a protest against Donald Trump.
What's the protest?
Don't shop, avoid making purchases, both in-store and online. Stay away from Amazon, Walmart, and Best Buy, and don't spend any money on fast food, gas, or use your credit card at all today.
Now, like, does this include the Antifa people who steal all the stuff? Are they out too? I mean, it could be a net neutral,
right?
If the stealer people also don't participate.
So this boycott, it was initiated by this guy named John Schwartz, and he started this on Instagram. And it's gained, I guess, a little traction.
How is this punishing Donald Trump?
Exactly. They're trying to disrupt the economy.
Like if you let's say you are a person where I live and you're like, I am boycotting and I'm not going to eat at the Flapjacks in Brownsburg. What did Flapjacks guy have to do with any of this? What do you think? Flapjacks guy is going to write a sternly worded letter to Trump and say, "Hey,
look what you did.
Better put that DEI back in there. I lost, pink-haired lady's business for today."
So this organization, they say their mission is to reclaim control over the economy, the government, and the future of the country.
You know, it's one thing that it's like if a company is behaving in a manner that you don't agree with, an individual company.
Like the Bud Light stuff.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
You do that. But the idea that I'm going to, first of all, the arrogance to think that you are capable of shutting down or in any way disrupting the American economy, how about that as the height of arrogance? But also the idea that you're going to punish people who don't have anything to do with anything. They're just running stores. They're just like local towny merchants. I'm going to make you feel the pain for some guy in Washington, D.C. doing something. Okay, sure. That sounds great.
Yeah, so you know what I'm going to do today?
What are you going to do today?
I'm going to buy some gas. I'm going to buy some food. Maybe do some shopping and offset all of that nonsense. Okay, so Jon Stewart, he injured his hand the other night. He was going on a rant. He was doing a Rob Kendall thing.
Yeah, he was off the rails.
Right? He was going off the rails. And during the rant, it was about Elon Musk, and he smashed a mug that was on the desk. And his rant was so off the rails that he actually cut himself.
And 10 is all of them, right? It would be embarrassing if it was a small drop in the bucket and that the American people didn't expect that we should negotiate for all their f***ing drugs because we've already paid for it with our subsidies. Are you f***ing saying?
So he carried on with the rant and put his hand underneath his desk. And at one point he lifted his hand up and you could see that he was bleeding. But since then, Elon Musk has now agreed to go on The Daily Show with him.
No.
Elon Musk. Good. He had a few stipulations. He said that it had to be live and unedited. And he had to be able to stream on X live during it as well. Because Elon didn't want them taking anything out of context or making any creative CBS type edits.
He should not be doing this. He's not a good speaker and he doesn't think quickly. He's obviously brilliant beyond belief, but I mean, his intelligence level's off the charts, but this is not it's not his area. It's not a good thing for him to be doing. He is the sort of person who needs to process something, think about it, and then give an intelligent response, which the response he gives would be infinitely more intelligent than 99.99999% of the populace. But I don't know about that.
Elon Musk, has once again ranked as the world's richest person with an estimated net worth of $419.4 billion.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, now that's not his liquid wealth. There's a bunch, like probably, I don't know the legalities of it, but he can't.
Right. He doesn't have that cash like in his wallet.
Right. But I mean, he can't also, I think there's certain rules in terms of selling stock and given his positions. And so, I mean, on paper, he's worth that.
Right.
Let's just say we're worth $1 billion though. Let's say his liquid assets were $1 billion. Think about that.
Right.
Like your what did you say his net worth was?
$419.4 billion.
So he could be a billionaire if he just had one out of 419. 419th of his wealth was liquid. He would be a billionaire. That's how disgustingly rich this guy is.
And this is obviously from Tesla, SpaceX, and X.
And now you see why Ashley St. Clair took the baby, right?
Oh, Well, she's hoping to get in on some of that.
Well, think about
$419 billion.
Think about that conversation that we had about even if he gave her $500,000 a month, he'd never know that's missing.
Right.
He doesn't know it exists.
This is true.
All right, so we got what? We got Mind Your Manners coming up next, right?
Yeah, Susan Beckwith is going to join us.
She's got some confessions to make.
She does. It's like she's going to walk into the confessional.
She's not so perfect after all.
Oh, to your
welcome
surprise.
to the team, lady.
It's on the way. It's 93 WIBC. Good morning.
The Hammer and Nigel Show, broadcasting live at Woodland Bowl, starting at 3. It's Red, White, and Bowl, presented by Jack Daniels. It's Beer Sample Friday. Let's have a day.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Bands are us. When dreams don't get in, bands are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
Bands are us. When dreams don't get in, bands are us.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Susan, the looks like I'm losing my mind.
Casey, it's that time.
It is. It's Friday, and you know what we do at this time on Fridays, don't you?
Well, we send you, our fabulous audience, into the weekend with the tools necessary to be a better member of society.
Yes, we do. And we don't have just any random person help us with this.
No, the segment is called Mind Your Manners, and we have scoured the fruited plain far and wide, and we have found, well, talk about the tippy top in terms of people you could get for this. Not only is she a former Miss Indiana, but she's now sharing a bedroom with the lieutenant governor.
This is true. She is the second lady of the great state of Indiana.
Is that how you'd like to word it?
Yes.
Her name is Susan Beckwith. Susan Beckwith, hello.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Okay, so I'm very excited about this segment. I've waited, 2 years for this? Because I've said for years, I know there's some sort of dirt on Susan Beckwith. I know no person is actually as perfect as Susan Beckwith presents herself to the world. And now we've found it. You're a terrible returner of things.
You know, today is going to be part confessional, also just an encouragement that you can maybe think if there is something that you have borrowed and did not return, that it's never too late. So this is kind of my personal story. So I borrowed kind of this portable clothes rack. I mean, it's been a substantial amount of time, and I had every intention of
Time out. Now, when you say it's substantial,
what are we looking at?
Like a week or a year or 3 years, or what are we talking about?
It's in the year category.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
Years.
Years, plural, with an S.
Yeah. It has been a very long time. I'm embarrassed to even say that.
So let me rehash this here because I'm getting great pleasure in this segment today. So you went to somebody and you said, "Look, I need something to house massive amounts of clothing to be able to carry with me." They gave you this portable coat rack. There was some sort of understanding you would be returning that in a somewhat timely fashion.
Yes, and I didn't, and I told you I'm embarrassed about it, but I'm going to make it right. I mean, obviously, it's not right, but I hope that this will encourage others. That if you're like, oh yes, I forgot to return that. So this is my attempt at rectifying the situation. So I know this individual is meeting with Micah. They are lovely and wonderful, and obviously very giving, but I think there's some concerns about some of the elimination of DEI stuff, and so I love that she reached out and wanted to meet with Micah, and they're going to sit down. So I saw that on his calendar, so I was like, this is my opportunity. So I've got my little note of apology, and I'm going to replace the item, and so that is the plan, to say I'm so very sorry, and yes, it was rude, and I apologize.
Okay, but this person hasn't been like, Susan, where's my portable coat, my portable clothes? What is it? It's not a container, right? What do you call rack? Is it rack? Is it portable clothes rack?
I probably at the time, I think I was, this has been a long time ago, but like a garage sale of some sort, borrowed it with that, as part of the plan.
What are we talking about street value on something like that? Like, what if you were to guess, like if this price is right, what would you ballpark a street value on a portable clothes rack?
It was probably very affordable, so I don't even know why I didn't just buy one. So now I'm like, oh gosh, I've now got to go through this whole rigmarole or whatever that
Rigmarole.
She's going to go through something, isn't she?
Okay, but Casey, this is my point. See, if there's such a low value on it, maybe the person didn't ever intend to get it back.
Have they said something to you or hinted that you still have it?
Never. But nevertheless, it was still rude to borrow it and not return it. And so, especially because, if I inconvenience them because they did it and then they felt uncomfortable asking me for it, I would feel very bad. So I felt like this was probably something that other people have also done. And I thought this will be a great reminder to say, hey, return it.
Now, there is the possibility, you said you're going to replace it, that maybe they don't want it replaced.
Possibly, but at this point, since I've used it, I feel like at this point I would feel much better giving them something brand new.
Wait. I guess I missed something in this. So wait a second. You're not even giving them back the one they gave. You're going to the extent of buying them a new one?
Yes.
So how are you having Micah just hand them a box of some sort and go,
here,
congratulations. Like, I walk me through this.
That is the plan, along with my little note. So I feel very careful about this, and please accept my apology and the brand new closet coat rack.
I'm a little concerned that it seems maybe you're having Micah do your dirty work.
You know what? It's a team. We're a team.
Okay.
And,
Okay, so the other thing, Susan Beckwith is our guest. Now I didn't know we were consorting with a known felon for all these years. Non-returner of items. I'll be sure to make a note of that. I'm going to put some sort of electronic chip on it if I ever give Susan
Get an
something.
AirTag in there.
Okay, so what's the other thing that's really on your mind? Because this is just it's your confessional today, and so you said there was something else. You said I really need to get off my chest.
Well, actually, this past week I saw a friend on Facebook was just talking about how it was frustrating when you ask somebody to do something and they commit to it and then they don't follow through. And I completely agree. And I was reflecting on that, thinking about sometimes I feel like people say they're going to do it with the best of intentions, but they're afraid to really say, no, I just can't up front. And so they say it and they really don't plan on ever following through. And that is even worse. That's because then you're in a real pickle.
Yeah, I see this. Now, my problem is I'll commit to doing things, and then I don't want to do them, but I do them anyway, but then I do them begrudgingly, and then I
You're not in a good mood while you're doing it?
What is that called where you can't let something go, and then you hold it over people because you did something you didn't want to do? Mm-hmm. There's a name for that. What is the name? Resentful. Yes, perfect. Thank you. And then I'm naturally a very resentful person, so and spiteful. So okay, Case, you ever done this where somebody asked you to do something you didn't want to do it, and instead of telling them to kick rocks, you told them you'd do it?
Yes, I have actually.
Like this radio show? Is that how it went down with you and David Wood?
I want to do this. Oh no, I don't want to do this.
Did you
anymore.
do the thing then? Did you follow through even though you didn't want to do it?
Sometimes. I've gone both ways.
Oh, you just screwed somebody over before.
Well, I don't think it was really a screwing over. I think it was maybe a disappointment to them.
But you committed to do it and then you didn't do it. That's a screwing over.
Okay, yeah, I've done both.
My problem is I can't screw people over. I follow through on the thing, and then I also can't tell people no.
Yeah.
And my wife also takes full advantage of this all the time, where she knows I have a hard time telling my friends and my family no.
Yeah.
I'm very confrontational everywhere but my personal life.
I've done the thing, and I've done it begrudgingly as well. But then I find that most of the time when you get there and you start and you're in the process, you're okay.
Susan, you ever done that? You ever told somebody you'd do something and then you just didn't? You know, Showski?
No, I'm like you. I will follow through, but there are definitely times where I'm like, why did my extroverted self commit to this when really my introverted side is like, I would much prefer to be home, which is terrible. So I feel like, no, I'm a very reliable and dependable person, but I'm kind of like you where I'm like, why did I do this?
This is my problem. Like, I crave confrontation in my professional existence. Like, I live for it. Like, it is the driving fuel that gets me out of bed. But in Case will back me up on my personal life, I'm surprisingly nice, and I loathe the confrontation in my personal existence.
So if I'm hearing this right, Susan, what you're saying is when this comes up, it's better just to be honest up front and not commit and say no, even if you feel guilty saying no to the person, than later being a no-show.
Absolutely. And I think you can even say that in that whole context, to say, I'm going to say no because I would really hate to say yes and not be somebody that you can count on, and that way that you're not in a bigger jam. So I'm just going to right up front say, I can't do it.
Aren't you risking not being invited next time to things?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the gamble.
Exactly. I know, and I think that is the gamble, but I ultimately would never want to inconvenience somebody, and I feel like if you leave them high and dry, that of course is really going to put them in, like I said, a pickle. So it's better just to be upfront.
All right, Susan, if people would like to learn more about you and your life and your teachings, whether it's how to successfully pilfer a coat rack for years or how to begrudgingly show up to something you don't want to do for a friend because you fear letting them down, or any point in between. Tell us about Belle of the Midwest.
I'm sharing my real and honest stories to hopefully help others. And you know what? I'm not perfect. So, I'm going to make it right. But yes, come find me. Send me your etiquette questions. I have to tell you that one of your listeners listened to me and about the guy that I reached out that was, interested in finding great conservative girls, and I'm helping connect the two of them. So
dating site now.
Wait. So somebody reached out to you, listens to our show, and was like, I need to find a well-assembled conservative woman.
No, it was not worded that way. It was very kind and respectful. That he had traditional value, and so one of the listeners, her dad, was like, hey, you should message her. And so I'm helping connect the two of them. So if they end up together, I'm going to take full credit.
Great.
I
What
love
are
how-
you laughing at?
Because you always insert well assembled.
Well,
She didn't say that at all.
It's
She
just
said,
not going to hook somebody up with a broad ripple too. I mean, come on, Casey. Said like it should be. Go there. I saw. Look, here's the thing, and Susan, I know you got to go, and we got to go. But here's the thing, real quick. I want to say this.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, or last year, or sometime, all these days run together now. Susan presented one of her friends as tribute, potentially to Kevin.
Right.
And I saw this friend in question, and she was very well assembled. I don't know if Kevin ever reached out to the person or not, but I'm telling you, Susan would not hook one of our listeners up with a broad ripple,
With
3
the
or below.
dog.
Right. I didn't say that. I just said I don't know those people's appearances, so it's
Sure.
it's hard for me now. But
Of
anyway,
course
Susan, Belle of the Midwest, BELLE of the Midwest.com and Facebook. You're the best. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Have a great weekend. And
Can't believe you're laughing at that. It was a
You
compliment.
always do that. Well assembled in everything. Well, thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for listening today. Have a wonderful weekend. Rob will be back on Monday. I'm taking a few days off. This is Kendall and Casey.
I got to work by myself Monday.
I don't know by yourself, but just
Really?
not with me.
Oh, they haven't staffed anybody yet.